Right then, the game at 5:30 about to kick off. Brentford against Arsenal with Steve Sidwell and the very experienced Five Live commentator, Alistair Bruce Ball.
The problem is I've got to explain that now, and the game's getting underway.
Well, you've got all the time in the world.
Yeah, right. We're underway at the G-Tech Community Stadium. Thank you, Mark. I will explain why. Mark had a little wry chuckle I could hear there as he handed over to us here. Brentford Arsenal is underway. Steve, it stems from a little chat I had with the former Spice Girl Jerry Halliwell on air earlier today.
That's good company.
It was. I was keeping good company. I'm keeping equally good company this evening with a man, of course, who spent time with both clubs, Steve Sidwell, at the start of his career. Arsenal, Brentford in the third tier. Steve made his very first bow in professional football for the club we're watching on home turf tonight. And the bees are buzzing at Brentford. I'm sure no one's used that line before, but it does feel like that in the stadium tonight. We are underway. Brentford 0, Arsenal 0. I think the top lines going into this game: Aaron Ramsdale in goal for Arsenal, with David Raya unable to face his parent club. He's on loan to Arsenal from Brentford. And I think more crucially, Steve, in terms of the game and the context of the situation, City won, Liverpool won today. If Arsenal win here, they're top of the table.
Well, that's the question. It's down now to Arsenal. Can they answer that? You know, they was in the mix all of last season. They took City to the very end, and then you could say crumbled at the final hurdle. Now, you know, a victory today, it puts the other two on the back foot, and it says, listen, we are in a title race.
Right, throw in for Brentford. They're playing from left to right in the first half. It's a cold, crisp night under dark skies in southwest London. Arsenal in changed kit, lurid yellow, defending the goal away to our right. Gabriel heads the ball away. It drops in the middle of the Arsenal half, and the Brentford captain Christian Norgard, his pass is immediately intercepted by Bukayo Saka, who chases the header forward, but is played back by Norgard to his goalkeeper Mark Fleckin, who's in equally lurid bright pink, the Brentford goalkeeper, away to our left. Arsenal appeal for a handball. They get the decision, and they get a free kick inside their own half. So top of the Premier League table, Manchester City on 29 points, Liverpool on 28, Arsenal having played a game fewer on 27. So the maths is simple. Arsenal win tonight and they go top of the Premier League table. Brentford unbeaten in their last 14 London derbies, which is some record for them. Arsenal unbeaten in their last 16 London derbies. So both of them enjoy these clashes in the capital. Martinelli has the ball at his feet wide on the left. Plays infield to Trossard. Trossard has kept his place in this team. Martin Ødegaard sitting a little deeper in the Arsenal midfield tonight. Trossard is fouled there. Brentford think they're hard done by, and Arsenal get the first free kick in a really good attacking position in this first half, Steve Sidwell.
Yeah, it's been a frantic opening couple of minutes here. Good start from both teams. Brentford really aggressive on the press, conceding maybe a sloppy foul there. Just noticing in possession they go into a flat back 4. Out of possession they go to a flat back 5, Brentford. So it'll be interesting to see how Arsenal work the flanks.
Free kick Arsenal then inside left channel, 7 or 8 yards out of the Brentford penalty area. Arsenal fans will be delighted to see the skipper back, the Norwegian Martin Ødegaard, who took a heavy whack to the head in training, which has seen him out for the last 3 games. So he comes into the side tonight. Gabriel Jesus starts again. Aaron Ramsdale in goal. Ødegaard's free kick to the near post. Great delivery. Martinelli got the header wrong, balloons it straight up in the air, and Flecken makes an easy catch. Brentford's lineup then: Mark Flecken in goal. When there are 4, Christopher Ayer, Ben Mee, Ethan Pinnock and the German Vitali Janelt, ever present in the Premier League for Brentford so far this season. Frank Onyeka, the Nigerian, the captain Christian Norgard, and the 19-year-old Yehor Yarmolyuk, who we were discussing in 5 Live Sport earlier on today with Brentford's director of football, Phil Giles. First Premier League start for him tonight for Brentford. Mbumo, Wissa and the Iranian Saman Ghoddos has come into the starting lineup this evening. A first Premier League start of the season for him. And Arsenal have Aaron Ramsdale in goal, Takahiro Tomiyasu, Saliba and Gabriel. They're playing out from the back here, and Ramsdale sweeps a pass to Gabriel. He's under pressure. He plays to his left back Zinchenko, plays back into the Arsenal penalty area. Ramsdale's got time here. He's all in bright blue, the Arsenal goalkeeper, calling players towards him, waggling his fingers at them, chipping a ball down the middle of the pitch. It's intercepted, and Norgard flicks a little pass into midfield, and then a side-footed pass away to the left, and it comes back to Ben Mee, and Ben Mee very nearly lost it on the halfway line. Jesus almost took it off his toe. Brentford keep it. Norgard goes to Janelt on the left. Saka comes back to cover for Arsenal, and I'll complete the Arsenal lineup for you. Zinchenko at left back, Ødegaard and Rice in central midfield, Saka, Trossard, Martinelli and Gabriel Jesus, who was injured before the international break but has been playing for Brazil during that break and is fit to start for Arsenal tonight. 5 minutes in, 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Been some cracking Premier League games this afternoon. Got a feeling, Steve, this has the potential, the way both of these teams play, to be very similar actually.
Yeah, I can see both sides cancelling each other out. Really impressed. I mean, I'm not surprised, but really impressed by the way Brentford are really getting at every single Arsenal player. Even when the ball went back to Ramsdale then, whether it was Mbeumo or Visa, they was pressing high. I think it's one of them ones. Can they win the ball high up the pitch and really test Ramsdale early in this game?
Yeah, real opportunity for Aaron Ramsdale tonight. So a first start in 9 Premier League games. Has played a couple of League Cup games since losing his place as the first choice goalkeeper. Tomiyasu's got in a muddle wide on the right for Arsenal, and he's run the ball straight out of play. Lurid yellow shirts, as I've described for Arsenal, but they're absolutely swathed in sort of wiggly black stripes as well. Dark blue shorts they look like with the bright yellow trim. Brentford take their throw. They are in the much simpler, more straightforward, traditional barred stripes, the red and white vertical stripes, black shorts and black socks. Martinelli tackled. Zinchenko quickly forward to Jesus, turns it into the path of Ødegaard. Jesus was offside. Flag goes up and the referee Tim Robinson blows his whistle, and that will be a free kick to Brentford. So Brentford 0, Arsenal 0, 6.5 minutes in the first half.
You talk about the Brentford shirts there. I was at my mum and dad's house last week and I was going through some old shirts, and the Brentford shirt was there, number 32.
What, the very first one you wore?
Yeah,
really?
yeah, I've still got it. It was at my mum and dad's house. It was
what was the game, Steve? Remember?
It was Bury at home, my debut. Yeah,
Bury
we won 5-0 on a Tuesday night.
Did you score?
No, I didn't. I didn't have the best of debuts either, but I put that to the test on the next game. I think it was against Reading away, and then ultimately end up at Reading a few years later on.
Yeah,
so.
Reading must have seen something that night. 7 minutes in, Brentford 0, Arsenal 0. Arsenal sweeping forward on the counter-attack. Jesus loses it. Good backtracking from Onyeka. Goal at the Hawthorns in the Championship evening kickoff tonight. West Brom Ipswich, Tom Gale.
West Brom 1, Ipswich 0. Ali, we're a couple minutes behind you, so 5 minutes played. First corner swung in. Darnell Furlong heads home. West Brom 1, Ipswich 0.
Offside flag is up against Godos for Brentford. Gabriel had already done the defending for Arsenal. West Brom leading Ipswich by a goal to 0, and Leicester 3 points clear at the top of the Championship table after their 2-0 win over Watford this afternoon. If you missed any of Sports Report, by the way, fantastic listen again this evening. That will be available as part of the Football Daily podcast, which is always there for you on the BBC Sounds app. A match of the day tonight, I think, is going to be some watch as well. 10:20 BBC One. I'm hearing the Michael Elise goal for Crystal Palace at Luton was a little bit special this afternoon. A couple of red cards bandied about as well, so should be an entertaining show tonight. Pinnock harried by Jesus down by the byline. Scrambled clearance. Martinelli is able to intercept, plays infield to Rice, wide to Zinchenko, just short of the Brentford penalty area on the left, and Martinelli, the Brazilian, with his long sleeves and his black gloves on at walking pace, plays back to Zinchenko. So Zinchenko, the Ukrainian, playing for Arsenal, up against the 19-year-old Yarmolyuk for Brentford. Ball in from the right from Tomiyasu is blocked, goes out for an Arsenal throw. It remains Brentford 0, Arsenal 0, and Brentford boasting the very impressive home record, having only lost 2 of their last 21 Premier League home games. One of those against Newcastle at the end of last season, and one of those this season, the only one where they played really poorly actually, and they lost to Everton, who thoroughly deserved their win on the day. There's Declan Rice stabbing a ball forward on the half volley with his right foot. It's an awkward one here for Janelt, and Saka is all over him, and actually Janelt has made the last touch there. Saka's not fouled him, and it's gone behind for the Arsenal corner.
Oh, good pressure and good patience there from Arsenal. I wish it took 9 minutes there for, I think it was Zinchenko, the first one, that just put his foot on the ball and calmed this game down. Said, look, we'll dictate the pace. Ultimately they've got a corner.
Corner then for Arsenal, away to our left. Loads of bright yellow shirts busying themselves on the edge of the penalty area. Declan Rice making a move towards the far post, as is Saliba. Bukayo Saka takes a few steps back from the ball, waits for the whistle. Referee Tim Robinson says just hold on, just wants to check everything is as it should be in the Brentford box. And now I think he's happy. So Saka goes through the pre-corner kick routine again, shrugs, wants an option here. Can I go, he says, waiting for the whistle. Come on, say the Brentford fans. Saka's still waiting here. Again sticks his right arm in the air, jogs on the spot, curls the corner in, Flecken's there and punches it away. Saka chests it down, the angle's tight for him just outside the box. Back it comes to the edge of the box and it's a right-footed shot from Trossard. He had a lot of time to tee himself up there, gets underneath it and knocks it high over the bar.
Oh, I don't know whether there was a bit of gamesmanship there from Saka. Certainly took his time on that corner. He was waiting for a certain movement, certainly from Tomiyasu. Ended up falling to Trossard, didn't it, who had all the time in the world, sometimes bit too much time. Be disappointing to sky that one over, and Arteta was hands on the head, and then he quickly turned around and applauded the team.
I know you're a decent golfer, Steve. That's like one of those tee shots, isn't it, where you just come up out of it a bit early and just let it go away to the right, hasn't he? Hit that fade.
Happened a lot yesterday, I've got to say.
Did it? 10 minutes in at Brentford. Brentford 0, Arsenal 0. Steve Sidwell watching the game with us this evening. Martinelli bobbles a pass across the Arsenal half. Saliba thumps a side-footed ball forward to Ødegaard. Ødegaard gliding across the halfway line. Zinchenko let the pass run because he thought it would reach Trossard. It's intercepted, and Mbeumo has a chance to run here down the right at Gabriel. Trossard's back to help his teammate. Gabriel gets his body in the way. Well, and Mbeumo bumps into the back of him. How easily did Gabriel go down there to win the free kick?
He knows what he's doing. He's exactly that. Wait for contact, go over, win the free kick. This is definitely going to be an area down this right hand side. Godos and Mbeumo working out with Zinchenko and Martinelli. If Arsenal commit,
Ramsdale under pressure, clears with his left foot. Didn't feel he had enough options there and slices it away and out for a throw. Sorry, Steve, go on.
I was just saying this is going to be an important one to watch, this with Martinelli, Zinchenko trying to get forward, how Brentford deal with that. But like we said earlier on, they're going to press Ramsdale there on his weaker side as well. At least he's got it away.
11 and a half minutes played first half. Brentford 0, Arsenal 0. Mikel Arteta just pleading for a bit of calm from his team. Both arms go up in the air. Ayer at right back, but he's a huge hulking figure in that red and white shirt. Norgard lobs one forward and Mbeumo gives chase, shoulder to shoulder with Gabriel, who's much stronger in that challenge. Zinchenko then to Rice. Martinelli's under pressure, back to Zinchenko, to Gabriel, who's deep on the byline for Arsenal, clears with his left foot. Jesus and Pinnock battle for that one. Pinnock wins it and then hoists it high in the air to the right. It bounces, hits Godos on the backside. He's controlled it quite brilliantly, but completely accidentally. Outside of the right foot, down the right to Mbeumo. Clever from Mbeumo, almost. Just tried to tow it round Gabriel, but he's knocked it behind for a goal kick to Arsenal.
Well, Mbeumo's really certainly pulling out Gabriel to this left-hand side, and Declan Rice is just filling in the gaps, but certainly an area where Brentford are looking to expose.
Brentford 0, Arsenal 0. Ramsdale had thought about the quick goal kick. Centre-backs have now split either side of him in the penalty area, but he's picked the ball up and decided against it, and he's actually going to give it to Gabriel to take. Gabriel plays it straight to Ramsdale. He's immediately closed up by Wissa. He's lost it. Wissa plays it back, and Mbeumo shoots. It's blocked on the line, and Wissa stabs the rebound wide. It was almost a gift for Brentford there. Arsenal making an absolute hash of things. Ramsdale and Gabriel, and Arsenal get away with it.
Well, we said that all eyes was going to be on Ramsdale at the very, very start of this. It was as though they was teeing it up. They had a lot of players inside the 18-yard box and a lot of players on the halfway line. You just thought they was going to clip it and miss the Brentford press. But Ramsdale really got caught in two minds. He didn't know whether to play it short or play it long. And Declan Rice on the line has absolutely saved Arsenal there.
They're going again. Short to Ramsdale, immediately under pressure. Well, Brentford every time now Ramsdale gets that ball are going to be right on top of him. And he just took his eye off it, missed it completely. I thought Wissa could have actually shot there, Steve, rather than laid it back to Mbeumo.
Well, you're thinking it was just a split-second decision. Them final moments there, they're the moments that count. Even I didn't see the supporting player that was probably in a better position to square it across. But it could have been any one of Brentford players there.
Do you think a lot of that is, I mean, it's very easy to put two and two together. It's down to the Ramsdale situation, under pressure, got to play out. That's, we see David Raya doing that.
It looked like that Arsenal were trying to invite the press and then bypass the press and clip it into the front end, but Ramsdale just caught in two minds there.
Yeah. Ball's with Brentford on the halfway line. Well, Arsenal really got away with one there, and Ramsdale's heart, I think, will still be beating hard in his chest as Flecken clears. First time for Brentford, nodded down by Gabriel. What a block from Declan Rice. Saw the danger immediately, got back on his goal line, and Mbeumo curled it round Aaron Ramsdale, and the crowd now, the Brentford fans, all over Ramsdale. Nice ball from him though, fizzed up the middle of the pitch, low and hard to Trossard. Trossard controls it, facing his own goal. Tomiyasu plays it to the right, and Mikel Arteta, I see, just applauded Aaron Ramsdale for being brave and playing the pass and staying on the ball. Lively start here at the G-Tech Community Stadium. Saka comes dancing in from the right for Arsenal. Sweeps a pass to Zinchenko, on it goes to Martinelli, corner of the box, cross hits Pinnock hard in the chest and goes behind to the Arsenal corner. Never a dull moment.
No, not at all. And Ramsdale, a good response there. He's having a chat now with Arteta. He's saying that if it's too tight, just clip it into the front. But what a response there from Ramsdale, because you know every time it goes back to him now, the crowd are going to be on his back.
Yeah, Ramsdale at the moment is standing a man alone inside the Arsenal half, just short of the centre circle. He actually put I don't think Arteta was looking, but almost apologised again. I think, you know, Arteta will know there's no need to apologise. Got to get your head back in the game and realise that you've got away with one. Brentford 0, Arsenal 0. Earlier on today, Manchester City 1, Liverpool 1. Newcastle beat Chelsea in our 3 o'clock commentary by 4 goals to 1. Let's see what Arsenal can do with this set piece. Corner will come in from the left. Trossard was about to take that, stops in his tracks as he runs towards the ball. Brentford fans getting very frustrated with the time it's taking for Arsenal to take the set pieces. What's going on, Steve?
Well, it was exactly the same, was it, on the other side with Saka? They took their time, and now Tim Robinson, the referee, is going over to the Arsenal captain and telling him, look, you've got to hurry this up. But this is certainly something they've worked on. It must be.
Yeah, so it's probably to try and make the Brentford defence almost make a false start in a way, as in delay, go. Right, let's see. Tim Robinson's had a word with Ødegaard. Trossard takes a deep breath. He's still going to take his time. Eventually delivers. That is an awful corner into the near post. Norgard hoiks it straight up in the air. Ødegaard pushes Mbeumo in the back. What a complete waste of time that was. Brentford 0, Arsenal 0.
I mean, how many times has that corner hit the front man? It drives people. It drives players crazy. It drives me crazy. Fans, you know, even us now in doing the commentary. You know, you work on things all week and set pieces on a Friday, and then when it comes to the moment and the crunch, you hit the front man. Get it in the box.
16 minutes then gone in the first half. Brilliant chance for Brentford to take the lead. Declan Rice blocking the Mbeumo shot on the line. Brentford 0, Arsenal 0. Mikel Arteta's 200th game in charge of Arsenal since taking over in December 2019. Flecken drives it high into the night sky. The ball comes spinning down just in front of our commentary position here. And Mbeumo stretches. Trossard intercepts his pass, and then Trossard takes a kick on the back of the leg, and that'll be a free kick for Arsenal. So the conversation with Jerry Halliwell-Horner on air this morning, Steve, was in a feature on Patrick Keelty's show called Beat the Commentator. Young Aiden came on, 11-year-old, and he set me 3 questions connected to the Brentford-Arsenal game. But I think Jerry got slightly confused, and I got introduced on air first, and then she heard my sort of deep, booming bass voice, and she thought I was 11-year-old Aiden. So the first question she asked me was, how old are you?
Oh.
So I then had to admit how old I was. I thought, well, it's a simple question, give it a simple answer. And for some reason, a lot of my colleagues in the office seem to have found this highly amusing. And I believe that the clip has already been played out a couple of times on 5 Live Sport this afternoon.
I'll wait to see that on the socials as well.
Yeah, you will see it. You definitely will, Steve, yeah. Brentford attacking down the left. Still 0-0. Here's Ben Mee, who was a guest with us on 5 Live, actually on the Wednesday nightclub this week. Pinnock plays out to Mee. Mee's under pressure inside the Arsenal half. Saka's robbed him. Chips a ball into Trossard. Lovely layout from Trossard to Ødegaard. Quickly on to Jesus in the inside right channel. Tries to thread it through for Saka. And it's a sliding block by Ben Mee, which is why you suddenly heard from the Brentford fans a big Mee.
Good transition there from Arsenal. Ødegaard there trying to get, was it Saka away in behind. That's where Brentford are going to be exposed at times, and that's where Arsenal's brilliance, can they just utilise that.
Throw in on the right from Tomiyasu. Ben White, by the way, on the bench for Arsenal this evening, so missed the last game before the international break, but he is one of those for Arsenal on the bench. Havertz left out this evening as well, and Eddie Nketiah on the bench with Gabriel Jesus starting through the middle. And Brentford's injury list, I mean, is much longer than Arsenal. So Roerslev couldn't play tonight. Nathan Collins injured on international duty. Matthias Jensen's been an ever-present in the midfield. He's missing as well. Strong challenge, good challenge by Saliba. to take the ball off Wissa inside the Brentford half. Trossard with red and white shirts in front of him, gets his head up, kills a pass to Ødegaard. Wider it goes right to Saka, who dangles his left foot in front of the ball and then prods it back to Tomiyasu. Tomiyasu in turn plays back to Saliba. Saliba just creeping forward. He's about 10 yards short of the Brentford penalty area. Central position, forward to Jesus. Jesus takes a tumble. Tim Robinson not interested. Gabriel collects for Arsenal, plays out to Martinelli. Martinelli's got Godos in front of him and Onyeka. He's just being forced away from goal and eventually passes back towards the halfway line. Saliba's first time ball to Rice. Rice across to Tomiyasu. So Arsenal changing the point of attack. Here's Saka. Saka on his left foot, strokes it infield to Jesus. Jesus in the inside right channel, back to Rice. Rice quickly again, whips the ball to the right to Tomiyasu. Tomiyasu onto his left foot finds Ødegaard. Ødegaard, again, just being held up by Brentford defenders, plays a 1-2 with Saka. Ødegaard again, just waiting for the moment here, Arsenal, to deliver the perfect pass. Ødegaard across to Rice. Rice in the middle of the Brentford half, they'd have to come back again. Gabriel to Saliba. Saliba's got Tomiyasu as an option to his right. Arsenal continue to keep the ball. Brentford continue to keep their shape. 20 minutes in, Brentford 0, Arsenal 0. Saliba, nice ball to Zinchenko, threads it through to Martinelli into the penalty area. Martinelli working it onto the right foot. Onyeka's there with the challenge, and Jesus suddenly speeds in behind him, tackles him, but it goes behind for the Brentford goal kick.
Well, that's where Brentford are so good. They are so disciplined and diligent. You know, if you can imagine sort of a condensed Christmas tree formation that's on the edge of their box, that's just hoping that and waiting that Arsenal just go from side to side. They have to stay switched on, they have to stay concentrated, but good play there from Arsenal, not forcing the play, just waiting for that right moment, that intricate moment, a bit of brilliance.
Have you got the Christmas tree up yet at home, Steve?
They are.
Are they?
Mrs S is a big fan of Christmas, and they are well and truly up in the house.
So that means there's more than one.
Yes, there is. Unfortunately.
Can you tell us how many, Steve?
I think there's about 3 or 4.
Are there? Yeah, you're
like
the
mini ones in the kids' bedrooms and stuff. Yeah.
You're the same as Chris Sutton. He goes so early. He's sort of mid-November and would go earlier, I think, if he could. So they're already up in the Sidwell house as well. That is interesting. Chris will be pleased to hear that. He's on 606 tonight with Robbie Savage, taking your calls after this game. This is Brentford 0, Arsenal 0 at the moment. Trossard battling with Norgard. Norgard wins the battle. Flicks a little pass to his left. Played across to the left by Yarmolyuk, who's in a left-sided midfield role, the 19-year-old Ukrainian. Hasn't had too much opportunity to shine on the ball, but part of a good team effort so far. Aya, nice ball down the right, perfectly positioned for Mbumo, takes Zinchenko on. Zinchenko makes the challenge. Godos is in there, the ball comes out. Norgard whips a curler over the bar. Goal kick for Arsenal.
Yeah, really good from Norgard first of all to win the ball off Trossard, regain possession. They worked it out really well on this right hand side, and Mbumo with a good movement in behind Zinchenko. They force to Norgard on the edge of the box with that. He tries to whip that one in the far corner, again just gets underneath it.
Here comes the moment. Arsenal goal kick. Gabriel to his left. Steve is pointing at a sort of vacant area in the middle of the Arsenal half, and Ramsdale just thumps this one down the middle of the pitch, and Trossard lays it off to Martinelli, and Martinelli thinks about making a run. Just got the ball caught between his feet, but Arsenal keep possession. Rice, low pass to Ødegaard. Ødegaard picking up the pace, quickly on to Saka. Saka up against Janelt, plays back to Ødegaard, just outside the area. Floated ball towards Jesus, who's wide on the left for Arsenal. Corner of the Brentford box, not enough on the cross. Headed up by Aya. Second header away, then Declan Rice powers a header back towards the edge of the box. Pinnock wins the next one. Gabriel nods the ball to his right. Saliba to Rice. Back to Gabriel on the halfway line and forward to Zinchenko. Zinchenko's first touch very assured. Wide to Martinelli. Lovely first time, crisp passing, drawing the men in. Arsenal are, but Brentford continue to hold their shape, as Steve was saying, diligent and disciplined, and keeping Arsenal at bay. Best chance of the game has gone to Brentford after Arsenal made a hash of things at the back, but it's still 0-0. Ødegaard to Rice, 30 yards out, central position, fed across to Gabriel. Long strides from him to reach that pass, wide to Martinelli. Martinelli dummies across, dummies again. Now into that inside left channel. Short pass back to Rice. Brentford stand off him. Rice just side foots one to Saliba. Slight lack of concentration from him. The ball runs past him to Ødegaard. who gets it back from Tomiyasu. Ødegaard again looking for the floated ball to the edge of the box. Zinchenko chests it down. Left-footed cross comes in. Header over the bar from Trossard. Well worked by Arsenal, but Flecken not tested.
No, not tested at all. And there was a gap there, wasn't there, between Ayer and Pinnock, that Trossard, probably one of the smallest players on the pitch, found. I mean, it was on the button, was it, from Zinchenko? We know he's got that quality, and Arsenal just waited for that opening where there was so much pace on that ball. I think Trossard just needed to use that pace and guide it, and he just got a bit too much on it.
Goal kick for Brentford. 25 minutes in. Mark Chapman back with you at half-time. More reaction to what's gone on in the world of sport today, up and down the land. Brighton 3-2 winners away at Nottingham Forest, so Steve will be pleased with that one, of course. West Ham with a late 2-1 win away to Burnley, who had the lead for quite a while in that game. Pinnock under pressure from Jesus, just manages to clear the ball out of play for an Arsenal throw on the left, and Tim Robinson says take that back 5 yards or so. Luton with their home win against Crystal Palace. Luton get to 9 points now, and Sheffield United, having been beaten at home by Bournemouth, they're in the bottom 3 on 5 points. Everton on 4, Burnley on 4. We've got full commentary from Goodison Park tomorrow night at 4:30. Everton against Manchester United. Great double header actually on Premier League Sunday. Tottenham Villa at 2 and Everton Manchester United at 4:30. We need a change of ball here on the pitch at Brentford. We're going to get a drop ball. Arsenal did have possession, and the ball will be dropped at Gabriel's feet.
That ball, has got a slow puncher in it from the tackle earlier on with Zinchenko and Godos, because it was one of them 50-50 ones where no one was pulling out in the run-up, that's for sure.
Ramsdale hooks the clearance away. Actually turns into quite a good pass for Zinchenko, laid off to Gabriel. Just wonder how much confidence those Arsenal defenders are feeling at the moment in terms of playing the ball back to Aaron Ramsdale, who has looked a little bit shaky in the first half hour of this game. Trossard shepherds the ball out of play. Arteta flicks a pass with his hands to Zinchenko, who runs forward, takes the throw. Pinnock's doing a really good job in wrestling with Jesus. He's been on Jesus all the way through this first half so far, and it's actually the free kick is given to Brentford. 0-0.
Yeah, just going back to what you said there about Ramsdale and the defenders passing back, I think Arteta will insist that the Arsenal players play their way, but sometimes in the game you have to read game scenarios. But again, it just puts that pressure on Ramsdale, doesn't it? Does he look shaky? Does he just keep going long? And by pressing that press, I think the ball earlier where he whipped it out to Zinchenko was a great ball. He actually meant that one. But I think these are the elements, these are the doubts that Arteta is just putting in his goalkeepers at the moment.
Free kick for Brentford's going to come from deep, so inside their own half. Flecken knocks it forward, edge of the box. Rice wins the first header, becomes a 50-50. Martinelli's too quick, too strong for Godos. Godos continues running with him. Martinelli knocks it inside him, but Onyeka's there to help out, and Mbumo's in a tight spot wide on the right for Brentford. Oh, that's brilliant from Mbumo. Little ball with the outside of the left foot to Norgard. Mikel Arteta, I think, was applauding the Arsenal defensive effort, unless he just so enjoyed the skill from Mbumo. He was given a little bit of a nod to one of his opponents this evening. Saka's on the ball for Arsenal. Chance now to run at Ben Mee. Mee's backpedaling. Saka feeds it infield to Ødegaard. Zinchenko's forward, 25 yards from goal. Out to Martinelli on the left. Martinelli's got Godos in front of him. Back to Zinchenko. Thought about the first time cross. Loads of red and white shirts clustered around the edge of the box again. Rice to Ødegaard. Right hand edge of Brentford's box to Jesus. Jesus is taking up some interesting positions actually when Arsenal get here, sometimes wide right, sometimes wide left.
I think it's because it's so condensed in there, he has to come out to get to get on the ball.
Brentford able to clear this time with Mee, just got enough bodies in the way that time, and out it goes for a throw to Arsenal on the right.
Yeah, I think that's what he's doing there. I think he's coming out and vacating that space because he's not getting, there's so, I mean, there must be, I don't know, 8-9 bodies all in front of him, a combination of Brentford and Arsenal. He's not seen any of the ball, so he's drifted into wide areas to get a few touches, get himself into the game. When he does that, Trossard then goes in there. They're very fluid in their movement, but that's not disturbing the way that Brentford are setting up.
Throw in for Arsenal. Tim Robinson again has marched them back 5 or 6 yards. Tomiyasu's dried the ball on his shirt. The throw's taken, and now Gabriel has the ball at his feet in the centre circle. Quickly on to Zinchenko, who knew what he wanted to do straight away and find Martinelli. Onyeka comes across to help out again with Godos. Zinchenko back wide to Martinelli. Still got 2 in front of him. Back to Zinchenko again. Patient stuff from Arsenal. Brentford 0, Arsenal 0. 15 minutes remaining in the first half. Here's Martinelli to Zinchenko. Forward to Jesus. Jesus trying to turn and get that left-footed shot away, and Pinnock stuck to his task well, makes the block, and out it goes for a throw into Arsenal. Martinelli takes that quickly. Trying to gain an advantage here, Arsenal, and catch Brentford napping. Rice's first time ball to Zinchenko, back across to Saliba, 30 yards out. On to Ødegaard. Corner of that Brentford box again. Tomiyasu's cross blocked from the right, and out it goes for a corner.
Good pressure from Arsenal. That was the first time that Jesus has got space and time in that box. They vacated that area, Brentford. Good movement from Arsenal, and that gave him the chance to try and turn Pinnock, but he read the danger. Again, Arsenal regained, put a bit of pressure on, and now they've got a call. Are they going to take their time on this one? We'll see.
Yeah, let's see. Saka's over there by the ball. There is another ball on the pitch at the moment, so Arsenal do have an excuse here. The two corners we've seen, or the two corners I remember both times actually, the ball's in from Saka from this side and Trossard from the other side were pretty woeful. Ødegaard's gone short to offer the option here, and Saka's not going to use him. Again, takes his time, backs off with 3 paces away from the ball, jogs on the spot, curls it into that near post area, flicked header into the side netting, but the angle was always going to be difficult to get it in from there. It was off Gabriel. Goal kick for Brentford.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to get half a yard. Gabriel there just got in front of Pinnock and turned his back. It kind of hit his back and hit the side netting, but again, when you run that far in front of the near post, it's very, very difficult to get any kind of contact and make that contact go towards the goal.
We'll be commentating on Arsenal again in midweek in the Champions League. Arsenal against Lens is our second Champions League commentary on the Wednesday, because we'll also have Galatasaray against Manchester United, the 5:45 kickoff, which is a huge game for Manchester United. So we'll be in Istanbul for that one. Ramsdale inside his own area, gets a ball back from Rice, closed down by Wissa, does well. Plays to his right to Tomiyasu. Saliba's got to be careful on the turn. He's lost it here for Arsenal. What can Brentford do with this? Ball down the left. Early cross comes in. Again, an Arsenal defender turns his back. That was Saliba this time. He's blocked it, and it's gone behind for the Brentford corner.
Yeah, there's certainly an area in that final third when Brentford lose a ball. It's like a 5-second frenzy. Can they win it back as quickly as they can? The young 19-year-old young right there wasn't the greatest of crosses, but it was a strange one while the Arsenal defender turned his back. But Brentford corner.
Brentford corner. And Mbeumo with the bushy black beard and the bald head. Socks rolled down. Distinctive figure here at Brentford, doing a fabulous job for them again this season. So many players in the 6-yard box here putting pressure on Ramsdale. And then the Brentford players, as soon as the corner was about to be taken, about 3 or 4 of them exited the 6-yard box, and now we've got another delay in the taking of a set piece. And what's going on here? Tim Robinson's having a word with the 2 Brentford players, Godos and Mbeumo. Not quite sure what that was about. And again, we've got about 15 players all gathered around Aaron Ramsdale, all right in the middle of the Arsenal goal mouth. This is going to be chaos in there.
It's like an unorganised bus stop.
It is, Steve. Referee Tim Robinson having a word with a few in there. Ramsdale does have room to move here and bounce on his toes, waiting for the delivery. And Mbeumo and Godos stand over the ball. Godos with his right foot gets it in there. Ramsdale comes, doesn't get much on that. Gabriel got a touch. The ball's loose inside the Arsenal area. Jesus half clears. It does fall to Saka, and Saka's happy just to scoop it away, and it ends up in the Brentford half.
You can certainly see that both teams have spent time on the training pitch, looking at set pieces, corners, free kicks, trying to just suss each other out, wait for that opening. It's definitely Arsenal in terms of taking their time, and certainly Brentford there with the amount of bodies that was in the 6-yard box.
You said it before the game, Steve, how good Brentford are at the set pieces. I watched them at Anfield just before the international break. They lost 3-0, but in the closing stages of that game they must have had 6 or 7 corners in a row, and Jurgen Klopp actually said straight after the game, he said they are so awkward to play against Brentford because of that. And he actually said they were the kind of team that when I started with my first teams in football, it was a real compliment to them. That's what I wanted my teams to be, just an absolute nightmare to play against. Here's Tomiyasu on the right for Arsenal. Still Brentford 0, Arsenal 0. We've got 12 minutes left in the first half. Tomiyasu thinks about delivering a cross, decides against it, finds Jesus. Declan Rice. Now in the middle of the Brentford half is Gabriel. Gabriel is able to find Trossard in space on the left. Trossard gets that ball in with his right foot. Saka's going to jump in the middle as the centre forward, headed away from him. Jesus wants to let that run behind for a corner, but the Brentford defender, whoever that was, Yanalt maybe, gets a foot on it and makes it go out for a throw.
Well, you like to think that the amount of aimless balls that get sent into the box with Need Pinnock. They've certainly got the size to deal with it.
Throw in from Tomiyasu's a foul throw. Brentford fans absolutely loving that. So the set piece problems continue for Arsenal this evening. Foul throw Tomiyasu. Brentford will get the throw instead. It's the kind of thing, I watch my lads' football team doing that, and you tear your hair out. The coaches tear their hair out at that sort of thing. It's very rare to see a professional Premier League footballer do that, but Arsenal have done it. It's still 0-0. Ball thrown forward. Trossard's been trodden on as he won a header, so he's hobbled out of the action for now. The ball bounces just outside the Brentford box. Ayer heads it away. Ayer then with his right foot clears up towards Mbeumo. Saliba shoves him over and Mbeumo stays down. Free kick for Brentford. Snooker news for you as well from the UK Snooker Championships. The defending champion Mark Allen is out. They're beaten 6-5 by Ding Junhui. 6-5 defeat for the defending champion Mark Allen. Brentford 0, Arsenal 0. 10 minutes remaining in the first half, and Brentford have a free kick inside their own half, and Flecken forward to take it again. So plenty of the Brentford big boys in amongst that Arsenal defensive line, and they're holding that line, Arsenal, about 7 or 8 yards outside their penalty area. Then the ball gets slung forward, dropping on the edge of the box. Pinnock wins the flick on, Rice wins the next one, and back it goes into the arms of Ramsdale. Ramsdale quickly out to the edge of his box, clears with his right foot, spinning ball drops inside the Brentford half. Slight miscue there from Yarmolyuk. Onyeka's trying to help out, Jesus behind him, and Jesus just a bit too keen to try and win that for Arsenal. Has fouled Onyeka. Free kick for Brentford inside their own half.
Yeah, a bit of a frantic 5 minutes there. No real sort of quality from either team getting the ball down. Brentford there just with that free kick aimlessly putting it in, trying to get on the first and second contact, trying to just give Arsenal some questions to answer, and he did that. And Ramsdale getting the ball and trying to get Jesus away quickly, so it's end to end for sure.
Steve Sidwell with us on 5 Live and BBC Sounds tonight. We're both wrapped up warm, big woolly hats on, gloves on, thermals on, one of those nights. Lovely cold, crisp, clear evening though, as Flecken drills it downfield over Mbeumo's head. Zinchenko lets it go and it ends up in the big hands of Aaron Ramsdale. Oh my goodness, he's dropped the ball. He was trying to bowl it out, it slipped out of his hand and it's gone straight to Onyeka. Another mistake by Ramsdale in possession of the ball. Norgard's cross, dangerous into the far post. Tomiyasu volleys it away on the left foot. Arsenal get away with it again. The referee has accidentally tripped up on Onyeka. Arsenal are away here. Here's Ødegaard streaming forward. Saka in space on his left. Oh, the ball's just behind him. It hits Saka on the heels. Now, was Saka fouled there on the edge of the box? No. Referee had a good view. Norgard made the challenge. And Godos plays the ball down the line. Not good enough for Mbeumo. Gabriel able to come forward and intercept.
Well, that would have been really interesting, because you see there the referee got in Onyeka's way, and he was the one who was marking Ødegaard, who set free Saka. So if that would have gone in, I'm not sure how that would have been pulled back.
No.
But interesting, back to Ramsdale there. That throw that he done, I see him do a couple of them in the warm-up where he goes to throw it and he kind of stops and he threw it into the ground. So not sure there. He's looking over to the bench.
Little nervy. Ramsdale again. Brentford 0, Arsenal 0. Martinelli with the ball, wide on the left for Arsenal. Back to Zinchenko. Cross here to Gabriel. Gabriel low pass to Tomiyasu. Tomiyasu onto Jesus, who again is wide right. Back to Tomiyasu, but it's slow from Arsenal. Deliberate. Keeping the ball, but can't find a way through. Martinelli with the ball at his feet, darting for the byline inside that Brentford box, laid back to Zinchenko. Cross comes into the far post. Pinnock flicks a header away. Jesus tries to control it, down by the byline, drives the shot, and it goes high and wide and behind for the Brentford goal kick.
Yeah, it was an ultra tight angle on that far post by the 6-yard box. I think it was a kind of shot cross. Again, was leaning back the whole time. It was never going to beat Flecken in his near post. I think it was more of a drill into the keeper to see if it ricochets in off one of his defenders. But again, Arsenal posing the questions, being patient, and again cancelling out. Brentford being disciplined with the defensive duties.
Draw for Arsenal tonight would keep them in third spot. They'd be level on points with Liverpool on 28. Their goal difference is one fewer. Manchester City would be top on 29 points. Brentford 0, Arsenal 0. Offside flag up against Brentford. Football fans have a way, don't they? A way with words and a way with the songs, and poor old Aaron Ramsdale's getting it this evening. So aware, aren't they, of sort of what is going on at clubs and the general situation. And I won't repeat the song in full. You probably picked it up in the background, but they're basically, with David Raya sitting here tonight, Brentford goalkeeper on loan at Arsenal, can't play against Brentford. They're basically singing at Ramsdale that he's a budget version of their former goalkeeper. I think that's the way I'd put it.
Well, I'm sure he would have recognised that before the game, and having not played many minutes this season, would have just said, look, just get into the game, get a few things under my belt first, and get a good performance in. It's certainly gone the other way at the moment. Yeah,
if he touches in the first half from the Arsenal keeper, but here's Bukayo Saka on the right. Two Brentford defenders eventually deal with him. Janelt clears. Wissa trying to hold on to the ball. Does well. Good pass as well across here to Onyeka. Onyeka's closed down by Zinchenko. Zinchenko feeds Martinelli. Now this could be the chance for Arsenal. Two Brentford defenders chasing. Plays the ball back. Jesus with the right foot. Deflected shot. Flecken palms it away and the ball spins behind for an Arsenal corner.
Well, Martinelli there tried to get half a yard, but Brentford players got back in this way, putting it back. And what a block there from Christopher. Threw himself at it along with Pinnock, and Flecken there just done his job and get it over for a corner.
Corner Arsenal. How long's this one going to take? Let's see. Trossard stands over the ball and waits. Tim Robinson, the referee, just outside the penalty area, is watching what's going on inside the box. Trossard holds his left arm in the air, then with his right foot in for that near post. They're going for the near post every time. Intercepted by Norgard with the header. Martinelli was looking for the flick on. Throw in for Arsenal. Trossard dummies to take it, and in the end he's going to leave it for Zinchenko. Zinchenko holds the ball above his head. Last 5 minutes of the first half. Brentford 0, Arsenal 0. Lines will be open for 6:06 from half-time onwards. Zinchenko's throw, Martinelli's first-time cross, is half clear, but only as far as Saka. Finds Ødegaard. Ødegaard across to Trossard, looking for space to shoot, edge of the box. Back to Saka. Saka just dinks across it. Jesus with the header, Flecken save. Up in the air, nodded in by Trossard. And that's going to count. The flag stays down from the assistant referee. Flecken was able to save the initial header from Gabriel Jesus, but quick as a flash, Trossard was in, 2 yards out, nods it over the line, and Arsenal have the breakthrough. Brentford 0, Arsenal 1.
Well, this Brentford stadium at the moment is absolutely stunned. Trossard there was the one who was certainly alive from the save from Flecken, and what an outstanding save it was. We thought it was going to go in from Jesus. Martinelli there at the byline pulls it back, and there's about Arsenal being patient. It ends up falling its way to, I think it was Saka, who puts the ball on the absolute button for Jesus, who's onside, and all he's got to do is guide it into the goal. Flecken saves it. It comes back out to Trossard, who has the easiest of headers to put in the back of the net. But it's been coming. You have to say Arsenal, they've been patient in their build-up play. They've waited, and that bit of brilliance, that bit of quality there just comes to show.
The two offsides for the video assistant referee and the team to look at Stockley Park. The first one, I think definitely not, was Jesus from the Saka cross, and then is Trossard behind the ball, behind Jesus, when the header goes in on goal that Flecken saves. Checking goal, possible offside up on the big screen here at the G-Tech Community Stadium, and this is the one, it's the second one, Steve. As Jesus heads the ball towards Flecken, is Trossard in an offside position? And from that angle, we're struggling to tell when he goes on and then heads the rebound in. This is going to be tight, you know.
This is going to be very, very tight. I mean, I can't see that. We've got the screen in front of us. It's going to go either way, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
it's
the closest one I've seen this.
Yeah. Well, we'll wait, Steve. All we can do is wait, because they'll put the lines on the screen. We'll be able to tell. Then the news will be relayed inside the stadium. At the moment, we are waiting to kick off, and Arsenal think they are leading by a goal to nil.
You have to credit Trossard as well. Very similar to the goal against Burnley, wasn't it, a few weeks ago, where he crashed into the post. So he's showed his bravery there, because Flecken, a fantastic save initially from Jesus. Then he comes sprinting across the 6-yard box, and he goes to flatten out Trossard away, but brave there from Trossard.
Yeah, Trossard knew he was going to get whacked. The question is, was he offside? Was he offside as Jesus? At the moment, we've got a freeze frame of Gabriel Jesus in the air. He's offside. This goal's not going to stand. The Brentford fans don't know it yet, but wait for it. Right on cue. Here we go. Referee listening to the instructions from the video assistant referee, Michael Salisbury, rules out the goal, and the Brentford fans celebrate and give the Arsenal fans a whole heap of stick. It was so close, but it remains 0-0.
It was close, and they've had to wait for that opening. What we in now, a few minutes before the half-time. where Saka just lifted the ball up. A bit of brilliance in the time of the run from Jesus. They've waited and been patient. I mean, Jesus will be disappointed that he's not scored from the initial contact, but again, shows the purpose from Arsenal.
Good point, actually, Steve. Had Jesus been able to stick away the first header, wouldn't have mattered because he was onside from the Saka cross. Flecker made a good save, but maybe if Jesus had been able to get it just further away from him, top corner, Flecken wouldn't have been able to make the save. So, 0-0 it remains. Last minute of the first half. Martinelli chasing a headed clearance. Godos gets a header on the ball, and Martinelli just uses his body to hold Godos off and let it go out for a throw-in to Arsenal on the left. Attacking position. Arsenal, knowing a win tonight, takes them top of the Premier League table, ahead of the very busy festive schedule, particularly for teams like Arsenal, who are still in European competition. Trossard's ball right across the face of the penalty area, well read by Ben Mee. Ben Mee swipes a clearance away with his right foot, only as far as Gabriel. 3 minutes of added time at the end of the first half. Arsenal with the bit between their teeth. Martinelli, the ball bobbles off him, cleared up towards Mbeumo. Mbeumo battles with Gabriel, it spins away from them. Zinchenko lobs one down the left, works out as a good ball for Jesus, who's barged over by Ayer. I'm not sure why Ayer did that. Jesus was getting his body in between Ayer and the ball. Ayer's been given a yellow card, but he's gone charging into him and conceded a free kick just outside the box wide on the left.
I mean, that was so pathetic from Ayer. The ball was bouncing high. We can see it from here, but he wasn't putting the brakes on at all, was he? He was just going to go and clatter Jesus. He done well to get his body in between him and the ball, and it was always going to be a free kick.
Added time, end of the first half. Steve Sidwell, former Brentford man, Arsenal man, Reading man, Chelsea man, Villa man, Fulham man, Brighton man. Is that all of them?
I think Stoke was in there.
Oh, Stoke. I forgot Stoke. Watching with us tonight. 0-0. Free kick Arsenal. So this one is 7-8 yards up from the byline. It's about level with the penalty spot, actually, and just outside the box to the left. So it's one of those where Trossard could try and whip it round a two-man wall and nick it in at the near post, and Flecken's got to be careful with that. Also, real pacey ball just into the box, hoping for the deflection into the far corner. Trossard waiting. Referee's blown the whistle, saying that an Arsenal player's too close to the two-man wall. Tries to get his body in the way, in it comes to that near post, and it's blocked and volleyed away. It's exactly what Trossard was looking for, and that's why the Arsenal player, whoever that was just trying to barge the two-man wall out of the way to make space for Trossard to try and find it.
He went for pace, didn't he? Low, hard, whip, paced ball. Any bodies that get across the goalkeeper's eye line.
Lively end to the first half, still 0-0. Saka with a step over inside the Brentford half, across to Zinchenko. Arsenal putting the pressure on late on here. Martinelli, again those two red and white shirts, Onyeka and Godos in front of him again. Back to Rice, here's Zinchenko. Zinchenko rolls a pass to Gabriel. Gabriel might fancy this one. 30 yards out, no, he's not going to shoot. Left-footed pass, measured one to Zinchenko. Cross comes in, little backheel flick in the box from Ødegaard. Goes past the far post, past the runner Tommy Yasu, and behind for a Brentford goal kick.
Yeah, normally he's got real good qualities, Zinchenko. I think that one there was more behind the Arsenal players that was dashing into the box. You have to say, in open play, Brentford haven't really created that much in terms of shots on goal at Ramsdale. They're sort of preying on mistakes more, pressing high up the pitch on the Arsenal defence and Ramsdale, whereas Arsenal, they probably created the better chances in the game.
Yeah, header over the bar from Trossard, the goal disallowed for the tight offside. The one real Brentford chance came very early with Mbeumo shot cleared off the line by Declan Rice, and there goes the half-time whistle. So we've just talked you through the major incidents. Brentford 0, Arsenal 0. I think, Steve, one of the big talking points there is we knew it was going to be before the game. Ramsdale just looking very jittery in possession of the ball at the back for Arsenal.
Yep, and it looked like something from the training ground, try and just beat Brentford's high press, but he just got confused. Instead of going long, he tried to try and play out, got his feet muddled up, but that was the moment there, the real key moments that Brentford have to take in these big games.
So that's it, goalless at half-time. Not quite able to spice up your life so far this evening, Mark Champman. Brentford 0, Arsenal 0.
Very good, very good. Half-time in the Championship as well, and we have got a goal there, Tom Gale.
half-time mark. West Brom 1, Ipswich 0. The visitors looking to keep pace with leaders Leicester, but trail to right back Darnell Furlong's 5th-minute header straight from the game's first corner. West Brom flew out of the traps, dominating the opening 10 minutes. Ipswich, who haven't lost away in the league since January, have progressively made it more competitive, but yet to work keeper Alex Palmer. As it stands, West Brom moving back into the playoff mix. At half-time, they lead Ipswich by 1-0.
So far in the Premier League today, then Manchester City 1, Liverpool 1 at lunchtime. Trent Alexander-Arnold equalising 10 minutes from time. Erling Haaland's opener in the first half for City. West Ham came from a goal down to beat Burnley 2-1. Luton 2, Palace 1. Newcastle thrashed Chelsea 4-1. Reece James sent off for Maurizio Pochettino's side. Nottingham Forest 2, Brighton 3. Lewis Dunk sent off there. And Marcus Tavernier got 2 goals for Bournemouth as they won 3-1 at Sheffield United. We'll have reaction to a lot of those games to come during half-time. Let's go to the UK snooker next. Big story on the opening day is that the defending champion is out, Jamie Broughton.
Yes, Mark Allen is heading back home to Antrim this evening. He lost by 6 frames to 5 to the 3-time winner Ding Junhui. Allen was 4-2 up at one stage, and he also had a chance in the decider but broke down on 37, missing a red to the middle pocket. And Ding wrapped up victory with a brilliant century. But afterwards, the Chinese superstar told me he was feeling really unwell, and this morning he had a high temperature and nearly pulled out of the tournament.
It was earlier in the morning. My temperature's it's not stable, it's like up and down, like up to 39. I couldn't walk straight, so maybe just walk over. But I think I want to play because I'm here for this tournament.
So at one stage you thought you might pull out? You're feeling so ill?
Yeah, in the morning I think I maybe pull out because I can't get out of my bed. Alarm was calling me, wake up, but I couldn't get up from bed.
So Ding Junhui's 3 is now off to see his doctor, and the 2-time winner Mark Williams also won his first round match.
Thank you very much, Jamie. Watch UK snooker on the BBC over the course of the tournament. The Davis Cup next, Russell Fuller.
Where Jannik Sinner is eyeing a 3rd win in 11 days over Novak Djokovic. They split their 2 meetings at the ATP finals. Sinner beating Djokovic after saving 3 match points and ending Djokovic's 21-match unbeaten singles run in Davis Cup for his country by taking the decider 7-5. So the Davis Cup semi-final at 1-1 between Italy and Serbia, and in the doubles, Sinner back on court with Lorenzo Sonego against Djokovic and Miomir Kecmanovic for Serbia. They're a set-up and they've broken and have a 2-1 lead in the second.
Thank you, Russell. In the day's racing, Royal Pagaille won the Betfair Chase at Haydock, but the favourite Shishkin refused to race in the 1965 Chase at Ascot. That was a race won by Pic D'Orhy. World champion Max Verstappen is on pole for tomorrow's Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, the final race of the season. And in Rugby Union's Premiership, Saracens beat Bristol. Leicester won at Gloucester, 6:22. Richard Foster has the news.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Hamas says it's delaying a second round of hostage releases from Gaza. The group says they won't be freed until Israel gives further commitments on aid for northern Gaza. Several Palestinians in Israeli jails were due to be freed as part of the exchange. Osama Hamdan is a Hamas spokesman.
We believe that the Israelis till now, they are not responding in the right and the positive way to what was achieved. And according to that, we have called upon the mediators to make the needed efforts to fulfill all what has agreed upon, like allowing the trucks of aid to reach the northern part of Gaza. Out of 200 trucks, we did not reach till now 70 trucks. Also, according to the release of the prisoners, we believe that the Israelis are manipulating the issue.
Wanam Sagi's mum is among those being held. He says the delays add to the tension.
We have a liaison officer for each family, and every evening we're waiting for a call to say who is on the list and who is not on the list. But up till now we didn't hear. We're still waiting for tonight's list to be released. It just, it's a torture. It's very intense. The whole family sitting and waiting and biting nails that we don't have.
Tens of thousands of pro-Palestinian demonstrators have joined a march in central London calling for a permanent ceasefire in the Israel-Gaza conflict. Demonstrators marched on the second day of the four-day pause in fighting between Israel and Hamas. At least 8 people were arrested. A breakaway group setting off flares has been detained as well. And a 6-year-old girl who was stabbed outside a school in Dublin on Thursday has been discharged from hospital. 3 kids and a school care assistant were injured in the knife attack, which was followed by hours of rioting in the city centre. The care worker and a 5-year-old girl are still critically ill.
This is 5 Live Sport with Mark Chapman.
On 5 Live. Listen on BBC Sounds.
Second half of Brentford Arsenal on the way, currently goalless, and then it will be 6:06 with Chris and Robbie. Let's bring you some reaction to the day's Premier League football. Newcastle thrashed Chelsea 4-1 at St James's Park, and Chelsea also had Reece James sent off for a second yellow card in the second half. Here's Mauricio Pochettino with Gary Flintoff.
Well, Mauricio, it felt at half-time you were very much in the game. Can you explain what happened in the second half?
No, but even in the first half, I think I was disappointed with the performance because we should be better. But in the second half, I think we start well and then we create few chances and we didn't score. And then when you concede an easy goal, how we concede, I think it's about to blame ourselves because that was our responsibility. Even if Newcastle wasn't great, I think it was so easy for them to win the game.
Is that disappointing from a coaching perspective, that the intensity of the home side overcame you?
Of course, very disappointed, very sorry. Even for our fans that were here, I think they don't deserve this type of performance. And we can make a mistake, but I think compete better. I think we need to compete better, and so it was so easy for them to score goals, and for us to concede in this way is a little bit a shame. I feel the shame because I think it's our responsibility.
Big afternoon for Luton. They got their first home win of the season, beating Crystal Palace 2-1. Rob Edwards has been talking to John Southall.
What were you thinking when the 12-minute board went up, and then at least they had a header, didn't he, which was a great chance, and I think Lerma hit the post at the end. What were the emotions like there?
I tried to remain calm. It's difficult in those moments because we're all desperate for those 3 points, but it's no good panicking too much because it's not going to do me any good in my health first and foremost. And there's a couple of moments I know where I got a little bit lively on the touchline, and it's because we care so much and we all want to win. Yeah, the emotions were running high towards the end, and to hear that final whistle at the end was brilliant.
Great moment. How important was it to see it out today, especially obviously what happened here last time against Liverpool?
Very important. It gives the players really good belief. Again, it wasn't perfect. There was moments that they had when they're piling numbers forward, the ball's coming into their box. It's a fine balance between getting pressure on the ball still and trying to be aggressive, but then they can you've got less bodies defending. You put more bodies defending, it's a bit easier for them to put the ball in the box. So trying to find that balance was difficult for the players, but again, a little bit of luck and some brilliant defending and blocks and passion and heart and fight, all of those things that we're going to need. Players showed that in abundance.
West Ham got 2 late goals to come from behind to beat Burnley 2-1. Burnley remain pointless at home this season. Here's Vincent Kompany.
Yeah, there's nothing more cruel than in our game an afternoon like today. I'd be a hypocrite if I started laying into my players. They were outstanding for 86 minutes of the game, but obviously they're facing the margins of this league. The importance of every detail, and within 5 or 6 minutes the game turned, and that's a painful one for us. But if anyone knows a little bit about me, I feel like going again, keep going again, tell the lads that these type of performances always yield results, but it's painful today.
6 straight defeats in the Premier League, heads can go down.
Yeah, don't wait for confidence to come find you. Build confidence through habits and keeping your standards throughout the week.
All of your 4 points have come on your travels. Does the longer the wait goes on here at Turf Moor, the harder, the more difficult psychologically it becomes?
No, that's not really how we function. We start every single game at Turf Moor with unbelievable support from our fans. This place is a little bit like it's like going to church on a Sunday. It's the cathedral of this town, and we always get fantastic positive vibes from this. We're last in the league. So I can't fall any lower. We just have to trust that we'll we'll play like this again in the next games, and that will give us results.
First away win of the season for Bournemouth this afternoon. Andoni Iraola's side beat Sheffield United 3-1, and he spoke with John Bennett.
Andoni, congratulations. Excellent result and performance. Just sum up how big that win is for you.
It was a huge game for us, no? Considering we were facing a team that was in relegation spots. The win was really needed for us, and obviously if it comes with this performance, with these goals, with these chances we had today, much better.
Have things clicked for you now at Bournemouth? The last two performances in particular, you've been so dominant.
I think last 4 or 5 games have been, if we take out the Manchester City's game, have been really good. Team is playing well, is having the chances, he's being a little bit more solid. And when collectively we look better, everyone shines a little bit more, and I think it's good that we had also today, we had Taff with 2 goals, Justin, more players involved in the goals, and it's good for the team.
What's the difference? Was it always going to take time for your philosophy, your ideas to transfer to the team? Is it just that now it's finally there?
There is not always just one reason. No? I think it's a little bit of a schedule, a little bit of understanding what we wanted, a little bit of recovering players, a little bit of everything. No? I think right now we are in a good moment. Players are playing well, are finding confidence. We started today playing on the front foot, and that's what we want to do.
Lewis Dunk was sent off as Brighton beat Nottingham Forest 3-2. 2 goals from João Pedro, the other from Evan Ferguson.
Big win for us, 3 points away from home. It's a good game to come out with the 3 points on top.
You're only 19, as you know, but the goals that you scored this calendar year, I think you're equal with Wayne Rooney for a teenager. The goals scored in 1 year.
Oh, is it?
Uh-huh.
No, I didn't.
It's not a bad stat, though, is it?
No, it's not. It's definitely not bad company to be in.
Now, it went all very turbulent in the second half. There's all sorts of stuff going on. Do you know why Lewis Dunk was sent off? Because some of us think it was 2 yellow cards, some say it was a red card.
I don't know. I didn't even see it on the pitch. I didn't see it after I was straight out here, but I'll have to watch it back and we'll see. But I can't comment because I didn't see it.
But the character that you guys showed then, because the roof nearly fell in, you know what the City ground noise is like.
Yeah, definitely. I think few games we've dropped a few points in games like that, and it's nice to come out on top today.
Your manager's been saying that you're not playing that badly despite not winning too many games.
I think it's just the wave of the game. Sometimes there's a few minutes where they're on top and we concede sloppy goals, but I think today we done well.
Must be great actually playing for Brighton the way they play.
Yeah, definitely.
You get lots of chances, don't you?
Yeah, that's the main thing. We all have a rhythm, and why we want to play the way we do is to get more chances and score more goals.
So plenty to react to in the Premier League this afternoon. As far as the Football League is concerned, contrasting fortunes for the 3 division leaders. Championship leaders Leicester beat Watford, but the League One leaders Portsmouth at the start of the day thrashed 4-0 at home by Blackpool. Bolton now top of League One after a 7-0 win at home to Exeter, and Stockport, who were going for a record 13th straight win in League Two, were beaten at Newport. So you'll probably want to talk about those with Robbie, and maybe as well Reading getting their first win in 10 games. And their first win away from home this season. Robbie?
I think in 370 odd days, chappers, I think that's Reading's first away win, so congratulations to Reading. At the bottom of the Premier League, Bournemouth and Luton wins. Great win for Luton. Everton, that 10 points now. Oh, it looks huge, only on 4 points. The lunchtime kickoff 1-1 between Man City and Liverpool. Did anybody deserve to win it? Arsenal currently 0-0. Huge win for Newcastle. Chelsea, chappers, 8 goals conceded in 2 games, currently 11th in the Premier League. The Chelsea fans, are they happy with Mauricio Pochettino? 08085 909 693, chappers.
Thank you very much. And the live sport keeps coming later at 10 o'clock. We're in Dublin for Chantal Cameron against Katie Taylor for their rematch. Jeanette Quatchy presenting this.
Oh, hello. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good to hear from you. Yeah, we are in Dublin tonight. It's a big one, Mark, absolutely huge one. Katie Taylor, of course, she lost about 6 months ago to Chantal Cameron, and it was a devastating loss as well. It was a homecoming for her, and to do that in front of a Dublin crowd that admire her so much. She's a hero here. It was a massive deal. So she's back now to try and win back these 4 super lightweight belts back from Chantal Cameron, who when you hear her this week, has been absolutely fierce with the talk. She's not coming here to turn up and spectate or be a fan of Katie Taylor. She's actually here to show that she could be described as pound for pound one of the best women boxers on the planet. So what we are looking forward to tonight is a real contest. I think it's going to be really fast, quite ferocious in the opening rounds, and Katie Taylor has to be able to keep up because her legacy essentially is on the line. So looking forward to it. It's a 10 o'clock, hopefully a 10 o'clock ring walk. The last ring walk lasted 12 minutes, so hopefully not the same this time, and we'll get straight into the action, but it should be a really good one here in Dublin tonight.
Thank you very much, Jeanette, and the team here on 5 Live from 10 o'clock, about to get underway with the second half at Brentford Arsenal. Goalless, and Ali, the producer says, if you could stop right now with the Spice Girl puns, who do you think you are? Good grief.
Second half's underway. That's Mark basically coming up with the gags and then using the producer as an excuse, apparently having come up with them. Brentford 0, Arsenal 0. Lots of Brentford fans just making their way back to their seats around us here. Gabriel Jesus is chasing a long ball downfield. Pinnock's headed the ball away. Chance for Arsenal early in the second half because Saka's onto it inside the Brentford box on the right. Ball at his left foot, switches it to the right, drives it into the near post. It comes off Ødegaard and balloons over the bar and goes behind for a goal kick. So Arsenal in bright yellow with black swirly stripes all over the kit, the dark blue shorts and the bright yellow socks. They're playing from left to right second half, and Brentford in the red and white vertical stripes, black shorts with the red band down either side of those, and the black socks with the red and white tops. Neither manager has made a change at half time. I'll give you the full lineups again in just a second. If you are just tuning in to our commentary of this Premier League game this evening, it is 0-0. Arsenal late in the first half had the ball in the back of the net. Leandro Trossard heading in from very close range. Flecken save from an initial Gabriel Jesus header, but Trossard in an offside position just before he latched onto the rebound. Ramsdale off his line quickly and Burmo closes in. Ramsdale wanted that ball to go out of play. It wouldn't quite come for him. Hacks it away with his left foot. Throw in for Brentford wide on the right. Steve Sidwell.
I feel for him there because it's one of the ones where he's desperate for it to go out. It's not going to go out, and you want a bit of peace for him for 5 minutes, Ramsdale. So he was right to come out. I don't think it took a nick on the replay that we've seen. It's a throw into Brentford.
Throw into Brentford. Dangerous from the corners. They're dangerous from these as well because Ethan Pinnock can really launch the ball into the box. So Brentford attacking the goal away to our left. And Pinnock just stepping back. Loads of space for him to work with. Actually doesn't go with the long one into the box. Throws low down the touchline, and Bumo works it back out to Pinnock on the right. Arsenal try to shut him down. Zinchenko makes the tackle, and it goes out for another throw into Brentford. So again, this could be a long one because it's just short of the penalty area wide on the right. Today's attendance, I've just seen a figure there, just over 17,000 in the G-Tech Community Stadium. One of the best atmospheres in the Premier League. They really ramp it up well before kick-off, and the team is playing well again this season. Long throw comes in from Pinnock, flicked on by me to the near post. Goros has a swipe at that with his right foot. Ball's gone behind, and it's given as a goal kick in the end, and Gabriel is down hurt for Arsenal, so he's going to need a little bit of time to recover. So a slightly scrappy sort of harum-scarum start to the second half here. Gabriel's going to be okay, gets to his feet.
Yeah, bit of a scrappy start, a few sort of loose balls put in the box, no real quality, but causing a little bit of carnage to both teams. They're a little bit sleepy coming out from this second half.
Right, early goal in the second half at the Hawthorns in the Championship. West Brom Ipswich being watched by Tom Gale.
Inside the opening 2 minutes of the restart, Ali. West Brom 2, Ipswich 0. An Ipswich corner, devastating counter led by Jed Wallace. He slipped in Grady Diangana, who tapped home in off the post. West Brom 2, Ipswich 0.
Ball bouncing inside the Arsenal half. Cleared by Tomiyasu up towards the halfway line, headed forward by Onyeka. Zinchenko just side foots it back to Gabriel, and Bumo in front of him, so he plays back to Ramsdale. Ramsdale takes a couple of touches. Brentford fans trying to get on top of him again. Ramsdale puts his whole body through the clearance there. Downfield it goes. Pinnock climbing over the back of Jesus. Play continues. Here's Ødegaard. Ødegaard running from left to right inside the Brentford half. Support from Tomiyasu behind him, and Saka just ahead of him. He stops for a second, checks, and then plays a pass to Declan Rice. Rice comes striding forward towards the edge of the Brentford box. Plays to his left to Zinchenko. On it goes to Martinelli. Martinelli's right-footed cross looks good into the far post. No one there for Arsenal to attack it, and behind it goes for the goal kick.
Martinelli is so disappointed there because it's actually a good ball, but Saka, Ødegaard, Jesus, even Trossard, to in fact all flat-footed in that box. Not one of them was on their toes, just gambling on that box. Even Arteta there, really disappointed.
Brentford's lineup then: Mark Flecken in goal, Ajer, Mee, Pinnock, Janelt back four. Christopher Ajer on a yellow card in this game. Onyeka Norgard, the captain, and the 19-year-old Ukrainian youth international Yehor Yarmolyuk making a first ever Premier League start for the club. Mbumo, Wissa and Godos completes the Brentford lineup. Ramsdale in goal for Arsenal, all in blue away to our left. Tomiyasu, Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko is their back four as Brentford build down the left. Ødegaard and Rice, Saka, Trossard, Martinelli with Gabriel Jesus up top. Ødegaard just puts Norgard under pressure on the halfway line. Back to Pinnock. In turn back to his goalkeeper Flecken. Flecken calmly clears the ball upfield. Easy header away for Gabriel. Might fall to Ødegaard. He runs into Onyeka. Miscontrol from Trossard. The ball gets away from him. And Godos plays back into his own half to Pinnock. Cross to Ajer. Ajer didn't put much on that pass, so Mbumo comes scuttling back down the touchline to collect it for Brentford. Ajer under pressure from Martinelli, who's bundled into the back of him, and that will be a free kick for Brentford inside their own half.
Yeah, I just want to touch on Ramsdale. I don't want to make this all about Aaron Ramsdale, but this is certainly going to test his mentality, his character, his personality. See him do an interview last week or a few weeks ago. I don't know when it was physically done, but he said about his concentration levels and how he can't do that for 90 minutes. Well, he's certainly going to need to do it for this game.
I think as well, actually, Rob Nothman, our producer, made a really good point at half-time, Steve. You know, we've got a camera close-up on Mikel Arteta. Mikel Arteta, in a way, has caused this situation. Brought David Raya in. Aaron Ramsdale obviously was the first-choice keeper last season. Absolutely entitled to sign a goalkeeper and have competition for places. But you wonder whether what we've seen from Ramsdale in the first half has come about because of that, basically.
Well, you certainly would think so. They were so accomplished, wasn't there? No problems with him last season. Good on the ball. Dealt with crosses.
Diagonal ball forward over the top for Wissa. Tomiyasu glides in there, just chests it down back to his goalkeeper Ramsdale. That's nice and easy because he can just pick it up. Now look again, the crowd just trying to wind Ramsdale up. He's got the ball in both hands. He drops it at his feet inside his box. Wissa comes towards him, clears with his right foot. Martinelli springs up in the air and flips the ball on. Headed away by Ajer. Second header from Yarmolyuk. Good ball from Mbumo to Mbumo. Mbumo shot! Wide of the near post. Ramsdale had it covered and it goes behind for the Arsenal goal kick.
Well, them two link up so well. Wissa and Mbumo, they get on the regain there from Arsenal trying to play out and going long. There's a shout for offside, but it wasn't, and it's down to Mbumo there on that right hand side. He just flashes it past the near post.
Keeping a keen eye on this one. It's an Arsenal goal kick. Gabriel is just to the left of Ramsdale. He's not going to use him. He's going to clear it right down the middle of the pitch. Ajer up to win the header. Zinchenko cushions a little volley back into his own half. Gabriel under pressure, miscues a clearance, gets lucky. The ball spins back to him and he plays it across to Tomiyasu. Tomiyasu sees space ahead of him, speeding forward, hands it on to Saka. Saka with the long sleeve, bright yellow Arsenal shirt, feeds inside to Ødegaard. Ødegaard runs away from Yarmolyuk, plays it across to Rice. Rice with the outside of his right boot just pokes it past Mbumo to Zinchenko. Now Trossard, who's wide on the left for Arsenal. And back it comes to Zinchenko again. Zinchenko to Gabriel. Rice in the middle of the Brentford half. Pushes a pass to Tomiyasu. On to Saka. Saka onto that left boot. Finds Ødegaard again in the inside right channel. Norgard in front of him. Diagonal floated cross to Martinelli. Controls it inside the Brentford area. Right-footed cross. Takes a slight deflection behind Ødegaard in front of Saka. Saka goes chasing down to the byline. Keeps it in play for Arsenal. Janelt's got to be careful here. Saka scoops it past him. Tomiyasu's there. Mee in with the challenge. And it goes out for an Arsenal corner or throw in there.
No, I think it is a corner. They've been excellent, Arsenal, in terms of getting the ball in the box and then recycling it, get on the regains and recycle it, get on the second balls and making Brentford really defend their own 18-yard box.
Arsenal corner. Saka away to our right. Brentford fans all around him. Couple of paces back. looks into the penalty area. Martinelli's the man to aim for if they're going near post again. Saka with this one. Again, it's into that near post area. Pinnock's there to acrobatically head it away, and Mbeumo gets a little nudge in the back from Ødegaard, but off his thigh gets the ball back to Janelt, who's happy just to clatter that downfield, and Arteta, like any good rugby fullback, clutches it to his chest, calls for a mark, and Arsenal get the throw.
Well, I thought with a man of that calibre, he could have brought that down, maybe on his chest or a thigh. Just didn't fancy it on a Saturday evening.
No, because you know if you miscontrol that, the Brentford fans are all over you. Here's Declan Rice striding forward for Arsenal, leaving Brentford players in his wake. One support on the right from Tomiyasu. Norgard in with the challenge, 2 challenges actually, and it goes out for an Arsenal throw, taken quickly by Tomiyasu. 9 minutes gone in the second half. Brentford 0, Arsenal 0. Saka with Yarmolyuk in front of him, plays it back here to Ødegaard. Low pass curled across to Zinchenko, wide to Martinelli. Martinelli speeds infield onto the right foot, cross into the far post, Mees up and heads it away, bounces in front of Saka just outside the Brentford box on the right. Little step over to try and lose his man. Ødegaard tries to get it back to him. Oh, Saka got a slight nudge there, stumbling forward. Wissa clears. This could be interesting. And Mbeumo chases Ramsdale in a good position off his line quickly, and side puts a pass to Zinchenko, who hooks it over his shoulder down the line to Martinelli. He's lost it. He's fouled on Yeka. That'll be a free kick for Brentford. Back to the Hawthorns. Here's Tom Gale.
West Brom 2, Ipswich 0, but it should be 3. Ali Jed Wallace gets to the byline, cuts it across. Matt Phillips 1 yard out, 99% of the goal to aim at, gets it all wrong. Ball fires off to the opposite side and out for a throw. West Brom 2, Ipswich 0.
Well, given that scoreline, the less I hear from Chris Sutton this evening, the better. The former Norwich striker sitting alongside Robbie Savage, taking the calls. Lines open for 606 08 085 909 693 to have your say. West Brom leading Ipswich by 2 goals to 0. Tom will continue to keep us updated.
Really good position there, was it, from Ramsdale on his edge of the 18-yard box, because it was a foot race there between Mbeumo
and Gabriel. Flecken's ball forward to the edge of the box, headed away, drops to Ødegaard. Ødegaard chips one up in the air. Martinelli chases, bounces, he tries to turn on Yeka. Onyeka flies in, clears it. Saka wants to keep it in play. Last touch came off an Arsenal player, goes out for a throw-in to Brentford, and Ben Mee is getting ready to take that. Ben Mee was excellent, actually, really good company on the Wednesday night club on 5 Live Sport on Wednesday night, which if you subscribe to the Football Daily, you'll still be able to get hold of that actually on the BBC Sounds app if you want to listen, as was Phil Giles, Brentford's director of football, on 5 Live Sport earlier this afternoon, when eventually Mark Chapman and Rob Green delicately got round to asking about the subject of Ivan Toney and how much longer he was going to be a Brentford player. But I thought Phil Giles answered the questions superbly, and honestly they're working hard to get him fit, get him ready. Said he genuinely hasn't had a single call about Ivan Toney in his time here, in his role at the club. Ball from Janelt goes wide to Yarmolyuk. Arsenal have some defending to do. Janelt's ball back to Mee. Mee goes wide to Janelt. Janelt uses Yarmolyuk as a decoy, then Mee plays it out to Yarmolyuk again, the 19-year-old, down the line to Janelt. Arsenal have got it closed off. This is wide on the left as Brentford attack, and then Norgard on the turn plays back to Pinnock. First time ball looking for Onyeka. Good strength from Onyeka to try and hold Trossard off. Does really well to keep that ball for Brentford under all sorts of pressure, and they'll build again. Mee down the line here to Yarmolyuk. Sees Mbeumo making a run. Tomiyasu and Saliba have it covered. Saliba bobbling past, nasty one back to Ramsdale. That wasn't too bad from Ramsdale. He's getting stick again from the Brentford fans, but he cleared it out for a throw.
Superb there. I don't think he was actually expecting the ball from Tomiyasu. Looked like it was probably going to go out for a goal kick, but it was fired back at him.
12 minutes gone, second half. That's the voice of Steve Sidwell you're listening to on 5 Live and BBC Sounds tonight. Brentford 0, Arsenal 0. 2 more Premier League commentaries coming your way tomorrow. 2 o'clock Tottenham Villa, which looks like it could be full of goals, that one. Everton Manchester United we've got in full at 4:30. Throw in for Brentford inside their own half on the left. Ben Mee gets slung the ball by a ball boy, holds it behind his head, looking for an option. Doesn't see one right now. Wissa coming towards him. Yarmolyuk jogs away from him. Mee holds on, then throws down the line towards Yarmolyuk. Saliba's behind him, and the last touch came off Yarmolyuk, and Arsenal get the throw on the right. Just to remind you as well, if Arsenal win this game this evening, they will go top of the Premier League table going into Sunday. Manchester City 1, Liverpool 1 it finished. City on 29 points, Liverpool 28, Arsenal starting tonight on 27. Tomiyasu is trying to steal a couple of yards. Tim Robinson, the referee, has been hot on that. Tomiyasu throws it across the halfway line, beyond Mbumo. It falls at the feet of Zinchenko, and Zinchenko plays his pass out to the left to Martinelli. Back to Zinchenko in the middle of the Brentford half. Couple of touches, chip ball to Ødegaard. Skids to a stop under the studs of his left boot to Saka. Back to Ødegaard, edge of the box, curling ball to the far post, no one there. Godos can just let it go, and that's a goal kick for Brentford.
Zinchenko certainly brought that bit of quality to this Arsenal team, hasn't he? And he's been the lively one in the first half that's just shown that he can put balls into the box. And a former manager that we see, Steve Coppell, he highlighted him, didn't he?
Yeah, I was just going to say, Steve, you spotted your former boss, didn't you, at half-time, and he picked out Zinchenko.
Yeah, great guy, Steve Coppell. He was the one that brought me to Brentford when I was a young 18-year-old out of Arsenal and gave me my break, and was lucky enough to team up with him again at the great Reading side that we had that got promoted with 106 points.
I remember that well. That's still a record, I think, isn't it?
That is still a record.
Yeah.
It was surely a memorable season. They're going through tough times at the moment, Reading.
Yes.
They're finding it hard.
But got the win today.
They did. Yeah. Obviously, we are BBC's obviously Robbie Savage.
Yeah, I know.
Boy Charlie's there, so hopefully they can pick up.
Zinchenko's headed back to Ramsdale. He's inside his penalty area, grabs it just short of the byline. So we got half an hour left of this game. We haven't had any goals as yet, but it's been gripping watching so far. Highlights tonight, 10:20, BBC One on Match of the Day. And as Mark Chapman was saying at half-time, stay tuned this evening for the boxing. Big fight in Dublin. Chantel Cameron against Katie Taylor. Expecting the ring walk at 10 o'clock. Here for you in full. Multicolour, Technicolor sound and audio on BBC Radio 5 Live, with us bringing the pictures to you through our descriptions. Throw in for Arsenal inside their own half on the left. Zinchenko holds the ball above his head again. He's being forced back by Tim Robinson. Are they stealing more yards than it seems slightly pedantic that this evening. I'm not quite sure why he's got a bee in his bonnet about that so much tonight.
I don't know. We just want to get this game flowing at some points, and the referees do stop that, I have to say.
Tomiyasu comes across the halfway line, ball at his feet. Saka makes a little dart infield. Tomiyasu doesn't release the pass, plays to Rice. Rice whips one low to Zinchenko, quickly on to Jesus. Jesus just outside the area on the left, into the feet is Zinchenko. Good tackle by Onyeka. Made some really good blocks and interceptions, has Onyeka. Brentford coming on the break with Wissa. Wissa plays it through the middle to Mbumo. Onyeka's in space on the right. Cross comes in from him beyond Wissa, too near to Ramsdale, and Ramsdale comes galloping off his line to collect it for Arsenal.
It was a good break, certainly from Wissa there. Read the play. Onyeka there just didn't have that quality to find him, but good intent from Brentford. Puts him on the back foot though from a defensive point of view now though.
Trossard plays back to Ødegaard. Ødegaard in the middle of the Brentford half finds Zinchenko, bit of space for Arsenal to work with. Martinelli fancies a run at Godos, plays back to Zinchenko, edge of the Brentford area. Zinchenko taking his time, just goes straight back to Martinelli. Onyeka and Godos in front of him. Cross takes a deflection, spins up in the air. Rice tries to nod it forward. Onyeka's miscued and just screwed a high clearance up in the air. Decisive action, comes forward, heads it away. Declan Rice reads it, plays it wide to Saka. Saka in his white boots, infield to Ødegaard. Lovely first touch, gets the ball in exactly the position he wants. On to Trossard, lays it off to Zinchenko. Martinelli's in space on the left. Godos has got to try and face Martinelli again. Moving at speed, heading for the byline. Godos sticks with him. Good defending. Goal kick for Brentford.
Excellent there from Godos. When Martinelli gets going, he can certainly motor. And he read the play and got his body in and shielded that ball out. Really good defensive duties there from Godos. He's been superb so far in this game, going forward and backwards.
Brentford 0, Arsenal 0. Relatively new home of Brentford Football Club tonight. Steve would have played his football at Griffin Park. The club formed back in 1895, as I found out in our Fact of the Day feature on Drive on Friday this week. Regular slot 5:20. Tony Livesey tries to outwit the football commentators. Managed to outwit me, because he told me that it was the Brentford Rowing Club that voted to form Brentford Football Club back in the late 1890s. I had a choice of the rowing club, the cricket club, or the tug of war club, and rowing just seemed too obvious because it was Kew Bridge, it's by the river. I thought, no, Tony's chucked that in because he wants me to go for rowing, and I didn't, and I went for cricket, and I got it wrong. And Nketiah's getting ready to come on for Arsenal. Cross into the Arsenal box. Awkward for Ramsdale. Took it well on the half volley at the near post.
Did it well there. Yeah, just going back to the Brentford trivia. Was he one of the only clubs to have 4 pubs?
Correct, Steve.
On the corner as well.
Famously, yeah, I think it was the only... Certainly when I used to go to Griffin Park, that was the line you'd always put into the pre-match report, was about the pub on the corner, each corner of the stadium. Here's Rice, good high swinging curling ball out to the left. Jesus lets it bounce in front of him. Jesus attacking position, plays back to Zinchenko. It'll be interesting to see who comes off for Nketiah. I know Jesus has just come back from injury and obviously has been playing for Brazil in the international break. Ødegaard plays out to Martinelli, who's wide on the right for Arsenal here, closed down quickly. Janelt blocks with his hands behind his back, throwing for Arsenal on the right. Almost 20 minutes gone in the second half, and it's still Brentford 0, Arsenal 0.
And Martinelli now on this right hand side. It is Jesus that's going to be departing, but whether Saka and Martinelli have just swapped sides, or that's just whether they're fluid and he's made his way over. No, he's making his way back to the left.
It is a talking point about Arsenal this season, Steve. I mean, they're going great guns and they're right up there, but a lot of people have been talking about compared to last season when they came absolutely flying out of the traps and they were so dangerous going forward. Just that they haven't quite found that rhythm, fluency and devastating attacking this season, have they?
Yeah, they've not been as clinical or ruthless in that final third. Defensively, middle third, 100% improvements. Declan Rice added real quality, but that final third, and that they're just lingering just behind Liverpool and Man City, which probably is fair where they are at the moment. Until maybe after this game.
Well, exactly. If they win the game, they're ahead of them both. Jesus off and Nketiah on. Tomiyasu lobs it to Ødegaard, offside. They were trying to work the throw in a tight space down by the byline, and Ødegaard's found himself in an offside position. Arteta's frustrated, Ødegaard's frustrated, Arsenal are frustrated. Brentford 0, Arsenal 0, and Brentford will have thoughts about winning this game as well. As I said in the first half, their home record is excellent. There's not too many teams, certainly in 2023, who've come here to the community stadium and managed to get the better of Brentford. Next up for Brentford next week, they've got Luton coming here. Arsenal will be at home to Wolves next weekend, but before that they've got the Champions League game against Lens on Wednesday night. We'll have full commentary of that one for you in 5 Live Sport on Wednesday. Zinchenko's ball into the channel for Nketiah to chase and control, shoulder to shoulder with Pinnock. Good strength from Nketiah. The pass back is cut out by Onyeka, throwing for Arsenal wide on the left. Champions League commentary on Tuesday night, by the way, should be a really good one. Newcastle away to Paris Saint-Germain. Newcastle 4-1 winners against Chelsea this afternoon. We saw Reece James sent off. Red card for Reece James, red card for Lewis Dunk as well in Brighton's 3-2 win at Nottingham Forest. Here's Tomiyasu back to Ødegaard. Again, all being played outside the Brentford box. Saka draws defenders in, finds Declan Rice in a central pass, central position, comes back to Saka. 2 red and white shirts right in front of him, teasing them both with the ball at the moment. Saka's got it tied to his left boot. Plays back to Gabriel. Here's Saliba 40 yards from goal. Rice to his right, Rice to Saliba. Cross it goes to the left. Brentford continue to hold their defensive stronghold. Ball to Martinelli. Martinelli's going to whip that cross in, and Nketiah's up. Mee does brilliantly to get up in front of him, head it behind Arsenal corner.
Oh, Ben Mee done superb there. Nketiah looks to the skies. He knows that the faintest of touches just took it away from him. Again, Arsenal work it well on that left hand side. Martinelli's got that quality, puts it on the 6-yard box, and Ben Mee's going backwards and just puts it behind the goal.
Arsenal corner then to be taken by Saka from the right. Zinchenko lurks in a shooting position if the clearance comes out to him on the edge of the D. Ødegaard's on the edge of the area as well. Declan Rice makes a run into the near post. Saka's delivery, referee spotted something, player down, ball's headed into the back of the net. The whistle had gone long before that. It's Nketiah, I think, who's down, and the referee wants to actually restart the whole corner. And Nketiah's saying, well, wasn't it a foul, ref?
He was just loitering out the back. And is it Yarmolenko there? Just marking him tightly as well. I don't think there was anything in it, but again, touch tight, making sure your man, that's the motto whenever I've played, my man doesn't score. As long as my man doesn't score, I've done my job, and that should be for every individual there.
So that's Yarmolyuk's job. He's got a little smile on his face, the 19-year-old. Big night for him as well. First Premier League start for the club. Corner then for Arsenal will be retaken. Floodlights shining brightly high above us. We can see lights on in the blocks of flats away to our right-hand side, with a couple of faces peering down on the action here. Saka holds his right arm in the air, jogs on the spot, curls it in with his left foot straight into the gloves of Mark Flecken. Just over 20 minutes to play. 6:06 on the way here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds, and the boxing from 10. The number to dial to chat to Chris and Robbie tonight to have your say on the Saturday football, 08085 909 693. Flecken clouts the ball downfield with his right foot. Saliba's mistimed his jump and the ball glides down his back. Gabriel's under pressure from Yarmolyuk, and all he can do is just bobble a clearance out of play on the right for Brentford midway inside the Arsenal half.
I think there's going to be some changes here for Brentford. Mopé there has been studying. I've been watching that bench, and Thomas Frank took a mini tactics board over to him before his warm-up and was showing him. Now one of the assistants is showing him something on the iPad now, whether it's set pieces or a bit of analysis from the first half, that an area that they can exploit.
Good first touch from Yarmolyuk inside his own half. He's got Declan Rice in front of him, decides to play back into his half. There's Ben Mee with his left foot, comes back to Flecken. Flecken's got time in different shades of pink, edge of the Brentford box. Norgard comes towards him, lays it off to Pinnock, and Ketty is going to try and close down Flecken. Mee's not an option here either. Flecken taking a chance on his goal line, just gets away with it. Right-footed pass in time to Pinnock, and Pinnock does well actually. He plays a first-time ball down the right, and look at Brentford go now. They've worked it superbly. Godos, open space in front of him, gets his head up, feeds the ball into Yarmolyuk. First-time effort straight at Ramsdale, easy save.
Oh, superb play there from Brentford, from the build-up from the goalkeeper. Whether you thought he's just got lucky, but it was superb play. You've got to credit it, and they work it down the right-hand side. It finds its way to Yarmolyuk, and you can see what he's doing on the edge of the box. He's trying to whip it in that far corner. Doesn't get enough when it goes straight down to Ramsdale.
Ramsdale plays into the feet of Declan Rice, straight back to Ramsdale, right in the middle of the goal there, on his own goal line, clears and finds Martinelli. So it's worked this time for Arsenal. Tomiyasu almost lost control, and that was a hurried pass forward, and Ketia wasn't going to be able to get to that. Pinnock's there inside his own half. 20 minutes to play. Brentford 0, Arsenal 0. Mee's pass forward, blocked by Saka. Rolls to Pinnock, into Norgard, closed down by Trossard. Norgard's got to be careful here, running back towards his own goal, plays to Mee. Mee's off balance, all he can do is slice it out of play for a throw into Arsenal on the right. So Mopé and Shandon Baptiste are coming on. Shandon Baptiste hasn't played for Brentford since the opening weekend of the season here against Tottenham in the 2-2 draw. So he's back from injury. Yarmolyuk is coming off. Standing ovation for the young Ukrainian. Baptiste replaces him, and Wissa off for Mopé. That was the other interesting thing that Phil Giles said in his interview with Mark Chapman this afternoon, Brentford's director of football, was that when the time comes for Ivan Toney to leave the club, and he said that time will come, everyone at Brentford is aware of that initially they would look within, they would look at someone like Kevin Schade in particular, who was signed halfway through last season, rather than try and go straight out and buy a striker, because everyone will know they've got the money for Ivan Toney, so let's absolutely pump the prices up. And Mopé was another name he mentioned, as in someone who's on loan from Everton at the moment. He's now into the action here. Ball headed away by Ben Mee. Might drop to Rice. Good first time ball. Zinchenko lines up the shot, hits the shot. What a block. Fabulous block by Onyeka. Behind it goes for a corner.
Onyeka sprinting out there to Zinchenko. What was he, 25 yards out there? As soon as he had that first touch, he knew he was going to wind that left foot up and have a strike on goal. And Onyeka throwing his body on the line.
Right, 27 minutes played in the second half. 6:06 is on the way. Loads to talk about this evening with Chris and Robbie. Are we going to get a goal here at Brentford? Brentford 0, Arsenal 0. It's Arsenal pressing at the moment. Gabriel, Mopé is marking Gabriel. Now that is a mismatch in terms of size and physicality. They're in a right old wrestle on the penalty spot here. Corner comes in from Trossard. Pinnock's up the highest, heads it up in the air, and Boomer with a second header falls to Norgard, who completely miscues and shanks the ball out of play for a throw in to Arsenal. Trossard dummies a throw back to Zinchenko, and Boomer has it covered. Brentford have had every everything covered so far this evening. But that in itself, Steve, tires you out, doesn't it?
Yep, it does, and that's where Arsenal just need to be cute and just move that ball 1, 2, 3 touches, always in and around their box, short passes. If it can go long, get this Brentford team moving as individuals and as a unit, and wait for that just one moment where it just opens up, and then you've got to be really clinical.
Tomiyasu under pressure just inside the Brentford half, finds Declan Rice close by. Rice turns back to Tomiyasu, bit of space for Arsenal on the right, short pass into Saka. Saka closed down by Onyeka. God, there he was for a second, then he was gone. Saka just disappeared. Good tackle, brilliant tackle by Norgard on Ødegaard. Ødegaard's down and seems in some pain. Play continues. Mopé pretty isolated wide on the left, takes on Saliba. Great defending from Saliba, steps in and nicks the ball. Ben Mee's forward though, gets it back to Mopé. Ødegaard's still down, he's now up on his knees with his head planted into the turf here at the community stadium, and then Tomiyasu takes a tumble, fouled by Mopé. Free kick for Arsenal in their right back position. I think Ødegaard, he took a whack on the knee, it looks like.
Norgard there, I think Norgard, what happened was Norgard read the play, knew he was going to take a touch inside, and he won the ball cleanly, and then sort of maybe his knee come onto his thigh. But I'd have to say that Norgard has been absolutely fantastic today. He's read the danger, he's disciplined, his decision making, getting around the pitch, putting fires out. He's been superb.
The other thing that young Aiden taught me today in the Beat the Commentator feature was that Christian Norgard apparently had the ability to be a professional golfer, apparently a very good golfer as well. So I was learning all sorts today.
Really?
I learnt as well that bees can fly up to a speed of 15 miles an hour as well. I mean, honestly. Proper school day for me today. Ramsdale clears with his right foot, and Nketiah chesting the ball down. Baptiste not enough on the pass. Ødegaard forward to Saka, tries to find Nketiah. Oh, Saka took a whack in the mouth there accidentally. He's down hurt. Mee's ball forward. Mopé chases Saliba, I think's got it covered for Arsenal. Ball just squirts away from him, and Mbumo's there. Oh, and Mbumo's done well, gives it to Mopé, and Mbumo's still in support. Mopé tries to find him, brilliantly read by Gabriel this time, who knew what was coming there, then clears into Mopé. Goal kick for Arsenal.
Yeah, Mopé obviously making an impact in this game, really hurrying and hustling. He hasn't got the pace, has he? But he just needs to. I know he's got the intent to go and win the ball, but sometimes when you know you can't win it, don't give the defenders an excuse to go over and win a foul. Just keep them going back towards their own goal. Defenders hate running towards their own goal.
Brentford have scored in their last 19 home games in the Premier League. Last time they didn't, back in October 2022. 0-0 draw against Chelsea. This at the moment is heading for a 0-0 draw with Arsenal. Let's wait and see. Ball towards Mbumo. Curling pass. Mopé knows that's a bit too far ahead of him. Saliba gets his body in the way. Mopé's done so well to get round him, get a foot on the ball. Both of them pick themselves to their feet. Saliba's up first, plays it to Rice. Rice is closed down, clears with his left foot, and Nketiah's going to chase this. Just tries to nudge Pinnock off balance. Pinnock was ready for that. Clears with his left foot. Zinchenko looked like he was doing the limbo there as he went down to chest the ball and control it, but it worked. He's lost it now though. Here's Onyeka, he's been brilliant for Brentford tonight. And Mbumo toes one into the path of Aya, shoots with his left foot. Rebound might come here to Mbumo again inside the Arsenal box, chips it to the far post, headed down. Oh, just wide. Did it graze the post? Another cross comes in, and Mopé stabs it wide at the near post and behind for a goal kick.
I think it was Zinchenko there on the line who blocked it. It was going to go in. Ramsdale was scrambling across his 6-yard box. And again, Brentford really putting the pressure on Arsenal. They work it really with Aya. Goes to shoot and takes a deflection. Brentford recycling it. He stands up to the far post. I think it was Mopé that headed it. Ramsdale was beaten. Zinchenko, superb defending to clear the danger.
Two unbelievable goal line clearances from Arsenal in this game this evening. One in the first half from Declan Rice, and one in the second half from Zinchenko. And Mopé, the aggression to win that header, one of the smallest men on the pitch, thought he'd scored the goal, but Zinchenko was there to deny him. 13 minutes remaining in this second half. Still Brentford 0, Arsenal 0. Trossard's first time ball, not enough on that. And Janelt plays the ball back to Ben Mee. We're going to give you a Davis Cup update in a second. Janelt plays the ball forward here to Baptiste. Rice is able to intercept. Arsenal win themselves a free kick in attacking position. Let's see what they can do with this. Ødegaard thinks about taking it quickly. Leaves it to Saliba. Down the line it goes to Tomiyasu. Passes back to Saliba. Kai Havertz is waiting to come on for Arsenal here. Still Brentford 0, Arsenal 0. 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Tomiyasu, 30 yards out inside right channel, plays back to Saliba. Saliba to Saka. Saka's tackle. Brentford throw. Let's bring in Russell Fuller to tell us what's going on in the Davis Cup. Russell.
Novak Djokovic's hopes of winning the competition with Serbia for a second time are over. Yannick Sinner beat him in the singles, having saved 3 match points, and Sinner with Lorenzo Sonego have just beaten Djokovic and Mirmir Kecmanovic in straight sets in the doubles. So it's Italy against Australia for the trophy tomorrow.
Thank you, Russell. Italy, Australia then for the Davis Cup. Havertz is on for Martinelli. Brian Mbeumo's come over for instructions and an energy gel and a slurp of water, all of which are guzzled at high speed before getting back into the action. And Steve Sidwell and I still waiting for a goal. It's Brentford 0, Arsenal 0. Thoroughly enjoyed the game and a fully committed battle between two teams. Steve said right at the start, I have to say, that it was possibly one where they might cancel each other out. Here's Havertz on the ball in the box, low cross on Yeka's there again for Brentford. Oh, that's a poor ball. Finds Ødegaard to Trossard. Trossard dummies the shot on his right foot, stumbles slightly, has Zinchenko to his left. Zinchenko just outside the box, back to Trossard. Red and white shirts all around. Declan Rice drives it through wide. Flecken had it covered anyway. Took a deflection on the way through. Corner for Arsenal.
It did, but Arsenal reverting to shots now from outside the box, which should suit Brentford, but to a man, Brentford have been superb defensively, throwing their bodies on the line, so committed to getting something out of this game.
Corner then for Arsenal. Trossard will take it from the left with his right foot, and I feel sure it's going to be heading in towards that near post area again. Arsenal have continually attacked that point throughout the game with their corners. 0-0, 6:06 on the way after this, and Trossard just waiting for the referee to have a word with Declan Rice, who is pretty much standing on Mark Flecken's toes on the Brentford goal line. Post-match reaction will be live into 6:06 this evening, but if you've missed anything today, Football Daily podcast, get yourself to the BBC Sounds app, search for the Football Daily and click subscribe, and do me a favour and subscribe to the Fantasy 606 podcast at exactly the same time. If you're a fantasy football manager and you enjoy that side of things, then I can highly recommend that one too. 10 minutes to go, second half. Corner for Arsenal into that near post area. Norgard wins the header. There's a foul in there that the ref spotted. Free kick for Brentford.
You just feel as though, and you hit the nail on the head there, Al, they've every set piece, whether it's been a corner or a free kick, they've tried to whip it to that near post. Just some kind of variation. Whether the first 4 in the second half go to the near post, and then one, just the next one, there's a run behind or around the back, just to change it up just a little bit.
Mikel Arteta encourages his troops. Aaron Ramsdale's looked a lot more certain, a lot more confident in this second half. Looked very nervy and jittery in the first half as Flecken clears with his right foot. Havertz wins the header, and Nketiah nods it to Trossard. Trossard then looking for Nketiah with the ball over the top. Saka might get onto this as Pinnock clears. Loose ball falls to Tomiyasu, central position, 30 yards out. Quickly across to Ødegaard. Ødegaard sees space on the left. Zinchenko lets the ball run across him. It comes to Trossard. Early cross into the box. Flecken's there and just grabs it. He leans over the top of Havertz and plucks it off his head.
Yeah, since Eddie Nketiah's come on, because he's making them runs in behind, that stretches the game now. So that puts Brentford 5-10 yards deeper. It opens the pitch up, and then when it goes out wide, there's more bodies in the box for Arsenal.
Flecken's given it a massive hoof downfield. Gabriel wins the header, nodded forward by Godos, flicked on by Mbeumo. Awkward for Saliba on the half volley. Hits it with his knee, but just got something on it. That's what he had to do, and out it went for a throw into Brentford on the right. And I think home fans definitely believe this is still there for Brentford. Arsenal definitely believe this is still there for them to win it. One goal could certainly do that this evening in a game like this. If Arsenal get it, they'll be top of the Premier League tonight. If Brentford get it, then it'll be another famous scout for them. My mind always goes back to their first game back in the top flight when they got promoted. Friday night here, first game of the season, beat Arsenal by 2 goals to nil. I was listening to that on 5 Live, and the noise at this place as that game went on. Ball drops loose inside the Arsenal box. Baptiste tries to get onto it. Saliba's there for Arsenal. Long legs take him out of trouble. Clears on Yeka. Throws himself at the ball. Ayer just flicks it over his shoulder. Ramsdale shouts my ball. Comes hurtling off his line and grabs it on the bounce. Bowls it out underarm to Declan Rice. Into the last 10 minutes of the game. 5 Live and BBC Sounds. And Rice still with so much energy. Football played, of course, in the international break for him for England. Wide to Trossard, on to Havertz. Havertz chased by Godos. Godos has done his job there. Pinnock's there to clear with his right foot. Did it hit Havertz? No, throwing for Arsenal on the left. Throw in taken quickly to Zinchenko. Brentford just back off here for a second. Zinchenko brings it up to the corner of the box. Play back to Rice. Rice wide to Trossard. Trossard's going to take on Godos. Back to Zinchenko. Zinchenko dummies. Then chips across into the area. It's over Nketiah. Mee is there to head it away. Saliba hits it, skidding volley wide. Again, Flecken had it covered. Throws himself full length. Goes behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, that's one of the ones where it comes out to the edge of the box and it's bobbling up, and you're just waiting for it to come on the down slope, and you volley it. There wasn't real quality in it. A typical kind of defender's shot, but Flecken had it covered, and he died for the cameras, I'm sure, for the club cameraman, shall we say.
Yeah, Rob Knopfman here, our producer, scribbling his notes for the post-match interviews. And do you know what, Steve, I've been in this position a million times. You know, you want to talk about Aaron Ramsdale back in the team, you've got to ask that question. I think he'll be quite prickly, Arteta, about that. But Rob is a very experienced campaigner, and I'm sure he's looking forward to...
He's rubbing his hands together. I don't know whether it's because he's cold or whether he can't wait for the questions.
Zinchenko covers a ball out of play for a throw-in to Arsenal on the left. So 6:06 on the way. Lines are open. 08085 909 693. A couple of belting commentaries for you tomorrow from the Premier League. Premier League Sunday on air from 12 with Steve Crossman. 2 o'clock we got Tottenham Villa. 4:30 we got Everton Manchester United. Brentford fans think Zinchenko's wasting time with the throw-in. Ball's played back to Zinchenko, volleys it forward, might fall for Saka. Now here's a chance for Arsenal late on. Nketiah into the penalty area, goes for the shot. He had so many options there, and he's hit it softly straight at Flecken.
He has chose the wrong option there. The option he kind of took was that Thierry Henry roll in that inside left, where he tries to just feed it in that far corner of the shot. He should really have fed Saka, who was just pulling off. It would have been like through the eye of a needle pass, but he's certainly got the quality to do that.
Flecken again just goes for the long clearance downfield. That's easy, meat and drink for Saliba to head it away. Saka with the next header. Pinnock, powerful header out of his own half. Diving header from Aya, and he could possibly play that ball with his foot. Onyeka's knocked it forward. Tomiyasu clears it. Norgard on the ball for Brentford. And Mbumo's in a good bit of space on the right here. Yep, they found him up against Zinchenko. Zinchenko dives in. Oh, and Mbumo's beaten him. Then he stumbled and he couldn't take the ball any further. Zinchenko's back. Clever pass to Havertz. Forward to Trossard. Back to Zinchenko. Arsenal still very happy to play out of those tight spots in the left-back position. And Nketiah can't control that. Onyeka's taking it off him. 86th minute of the game. Brentford 0, Arsenal 0.
Yes, it's just getting a little bit sloppy, isn't it? The game's getting stretched. There's a few mistakes, a few loose touches. This is where the players really need to be concentrating these last 5-6 minutes of the game.
Ball played forward by Flecken first time. And Mbeumo was in the offside position. Headed away. Here's Ødegaard. Ødegaard inside the Brentford half. Tomiyasu still got loads of energy. Comes flying past him and receives the pass. Now looking for an option. There's too many red and white shirts. He can't thread a pass through. He goes wide to Saka. Saka just plays it straight back to Tomiyasu. Rice backpedals a couple of paces, or does well to take it past Mopé. Again to Tomiyasu, just outside the Brentford area. Will Arsenal find a way through? Will they end up on the top of the Premier League tonight? Saka with the cross from the right, low one. Pinnock's in exactly the right place for Brentford. Leans forward and heads it away. Saliba nods it to his right to Saka. Saka plays it back to Saliba on the halfway line. Here's Rice. Rice again with that tall, upright running style. Makes a few yards. Zinchenko wide to Trossard. Trossard dummies across with his right foot. Zinchenko makes a little run forward into space. It comes back to Trossard. Here's Rice, edge of the box. Norgard's got to be careful with the challenge. Just stood in his way there. Back it comes to Saliba. Tomiyasu lets the ball run across his body. Tries to feed it to Nketiah. Might run to Saka. Saka toes it forward. Nketiah can't get that. Saliba heads it forward to the edge of the box. Janelt stretches, clears it on the volley. Mopé plays back to Janelt. Janelt thumps it forward because he just knows Mbumo's going to be waiting up there. But Arsenal intercept on the halfway line, and suddenly Arsenal turn it into an attacking opportunity. 3 minutes plus added time remaining, still 0-0. Trossard's right-footed cross driven to Saka. Saka controls just inside the Brentford box. Again, the red and white shirts lining up in front of him. Ødegaard to his right. Delayed pass to Ødegaard. Ødegaard onto that magical left foot. Cross comes in. Pinnock heads it away. Falls to Tomiyasu. Brings it down on his thigh. Sees Trossard in a bit of space. Corner of the box on the left. just makes it into the Brentford area now. What's Trossard got here? Plays it back. Tomiyasu stabbed it forward with his right foot. No power, Brentford clear.
They have been superb, Brentford. They've given Arsenal nothing. When have you seen an Arsenal player or a Brentford player slide in or sell himself? They haven't. They've got to the ball. They've made sure the Arsenal player's got his head down so he can't pick a quality pass.
Trossard's disallowed goal at the end of the first half, the closest Arsenal have come. Here's Ødegaard. Brentford still got to concentrate. Saka's ball into the far post, headed down, and in it's Havertz! The substitute has popped up at the far post. Arsenal eventually break through the Brentford resistance in the 89th minute of the game. They're heading to the top of the Premier League table. Fabulous cross from Saka. Havertz goes in. Brentford 0, Arsenal 1.
Well, as a sub, when you come onto the pitch, it's about making an impact, whether that's going to be from a defensive duty or an attacking one, and Havertz has certainly done that. They were so patient in their build-up from side to side, and they've had to go for near enough 90 minutes of this game. But there was that one bit of quality on this right-hand side, and it was Saka who just lifted his head up and put the ball to the far post, and Havertz there just run off the Brentford defender and squeezed it through the legs of Flecken there. And you have to say, in this second half, in terms of players or teams trying to go for the goal, they have deserved it. They just edged it for me, Arsenal, in this second half.
Do you know what, Steve? I wish I'd said it when Havertz came off the bench, but you always think it when he comes on for Arsenal. He does have that aerial ability, doesn't he? He just brings a sort of added threat for Arsenal. And I'm just remembering as well, I don't think it was a Havertz goal, it was a Trossard goal I saw earlier this season in the 2-2 against Chelsea, when Saka did exactly that same thing, just got the ball, put it into an area, and Trossard had just come on as a sub and managed to beat his man at the back post and scored a very similar goal, and Arsenal have worked it to their advantage this evening.
That's it, you don't look to pick out a player. Saka, he knew that he had time and space to just shift on his left foot, and he's just picking out an area. I think there was probably 2 or 3 players on the far post. Certainly Eddie Nketiah was there as well, but Havertz, he's certainly not lived up to the billing of the transfer fee and what he can produce, but he certainly made an impact in this game. And has he now put Arsenal top of the pile?
He certainly has as things stand. Added time at the end of the game has just gone up. I have to say I missed that. Arsenal leading Brentford by a goal to 0. 4 minutes of added time. Robbie and Chris waiting to take your calls. And I'm sure if Arsenal do end up on the top of the Premier League table this evening, they'll want to have their say. Ball's flicked into the Arsenal area. Gabriel's there, gets his body in the way. Tomiyasu then with the second clearance thumps it away with his right foot. And if this title race is possibly going to be as tight all the way as it is now, moments like that, goals like that, absolutely crucial. Arsenal on 30 points as things stand, defending another cross into their box. Zinchenko heads it away. Manchester City 29, Liverpool 28. All the highlights, match of the day, BBC One at 10:20 tonight. Brentford have got 3.5 minutes to try and find an equaliser. Tomiyasu's across to intercept a diagonal pass and volleys the ball out of play for an Arsenal throw. Kai Havertz with his first goal from open play for Arsenal, because up until this point the only goal he scored was the penalty he got given at Bournemouth, not the regular penalty taker, but it got him off the mark. But that was brilliant from Havertz. Timed the run, knew the cross was coming. Saka delivered it on a sixpence. Pinnock's throw into the Arsenal area. Tomiyasu gets a shove. Free kick for Arsenal. It's true though, isn't it, Steve? If you're going to win a title, it's nights like this, isn't it?
These are the moments you have to dig deep, and you have to feel for Brentford, because for near enough 90 minutes defensively they have been superb. Carried out every single discipline, everything that was thrown at them, they've done it to a T. But that 1 second, I think it might have been Godos at the far post, that 1 second you just switch off in the final moments of games can lose you the match.
Late substitutions coming from Arsenal. Ben White's coming on. Saka and Ødegaard are coming off. Jorginho and White are coming on. And by the way, very quickly, talking about a variety of sport available for you to listen to on Sports Extra over the next 24 hours. 11 o'clock tonight, Women's Big Bash Cricket, Hobart Hurricanes against the Adelaide Strikers. 2:30 in the morning, Sydney Sixers against the Sydney Thunder, a Sydney derby. If Formula One's your thing, 12:45 tomorrow, Abu Dhabi Grand Prix in full. Rugby Union at 2:55, Newcastle against Exeter in the Gallagher Premiership. I'm not finished yet, by the way. WSL at 6:30, Manchester City Tottenham, and then NFL at 9 o'clock, Sports Extra tomorrow night, Buffalo Bills at the Philadelphia Eagles. 6:06 on the way here on 5 Live tonight. Are Arsenal going to be top of the table? As it stands, they are. Minute and a half to go, leading 1-0. Late Havertz goal. Brentford looking to try and cause Arsenal some problems. Jorgensen's ball, Ramsdale does well, comes out confidently, claims it on the edge of the 6-yard box, and then gets the congratulations from about 4 teammates who all crowd around him. And Thomas Frank and the Brentford fans are complaining that Arsenal are wasting time. It's going to be a tough one actually for Thomas Frank to take, because as you say, Steve, his team have been superb.
They have been superb. Could have gone a goal, against Arsenal with the Ramsdale mistake. Didn't happen. Mopé in the second half had a great chance with Zinchenko clean off the line. So, they haven't created a lot in terms of open play.
Ramsdale clears with his right foot from the edge of the box under pressure from Mopé. We're into the last minute of this game now, and Arsenal are going to be top of the pile tonight. Saliba very carefully just pushes a pass forward to the goal scorer Havertz. Ben White on the field, drives a cross-field ball, read by Ayer, chested down to Flecken. Just wonder whether White maybe should have held on to that for Arsenal. Let's see what Brentford can do. It's thrown out to Ayer. He's already inside the Arsenal half, but Arsenal have all their bright yellow shirts behind the ball, and we've only got about 30 seconds to play. And Mbeumo comes deep to pick it up for Brentford, chips a ball into the Arsenal area, tapped on the edge of the box, but Arsenal managed to deal with it. Jorginho is there, plays back here to Gabriel. Gabriel hoiks it forward with his left foot up towards Nketiah. He slips, not long left in the game. Number to dial for 606 tonight, 08085 909 693. Mbeumo for Brentford. Last minute of added time. Across it comes to Ben Mee. Mikel Arteta looking anxious. Thomas Frank wants Brentford to get it forward. They do. Up it goes to the edge of the box. Mee heads it down. Jorginho's there. Clears it with his right foot. And out it goes for a throw into Brentford on the left. Are they going to have time for Pinnock to come across and launch this into the box? I think they are.
Well, this is what you want to do. A big, deep throw. Really test this Arsenal team and Ramsdale if you can.
Arteta has got ants in his pants. He's pacing around on the touchline here. Pinnock is going to take some massive strides towards the touchline. In it comes. Might have slipped out of his hand. That might go all the way through for an Arsenal goal kick. All over. And Mikel Arteta with some vociferous celebrations there. That win means a lot to him. It takes his team Arsenal to the top of the Premier League table, and they had to push and push and push tonight to get the win. It came late. It was Havertz's header from the Saka cross at the far post. Brentford put up a really good show against Arsenal tonight, but they eventually found a way through. Steve Sidwell.
They did, and it throws a massive statement out to Liverpool and Manchester City to say, we are in this title race. Do not write us off. They've had to dig deep. They weren't at their best tonight. Arsenal, they've had to be patient and wait for openings, but that final opening, that one opening they got right at the death, and with Havertz there just loitering around the far post, they got the goal. They could have played better in areas, but fair play to Brentford. They had to really make them work for it.
Arsenal top of the shop tonight. They are on 30 points. Liverpool are on 28, 2 behind them. Manchester City in between them on 29 points. 606 is on the way. Lines are open. Number to dial 08085 909 693. Arsenal have beaten Brentford by 1-0. Other Premier League results you're going to be reacting to today. Manchester City 1, Liverpool 1 in the lunchtime kickoff. Newcastle with a thumping 4-1 win over Chelsea. Brighton were 3-2 winners away to Nottingham Forest. Lewis Dunk sent off in that one. West Ham got a late win away to Burnley. A heartbreaker for Vincent Kompany and his team. That one, it finished 2-1 to West Ham at Turf Moor. Big win for Luton to climb out of the bottom 3. They're on 9 points now, sitting 4 points clear of Sheffield United, 5 clear of Everton and Burnley. They beat Palace by 2-1, and it finished Sheffield United 1, Bournemouth 3. The evening kick-off in the Championship all over as well. This is at the Hawthorns. Tom Gale.
West Brom 2, Ipswich 0. Ali, a third consecutive home win, sees the Baggies move up to 5th. Goals early in each half. Furlong's header from a corner and Diangana slotting home on the counter. They've done a proper job on Ipswich tonight, who sit 10 points above them and stay second, but 3 points now behind the leaders Leicester. Their first away league defeats since January, and now it's just one win in their last 4 for Kieran McKenna's side. Full time, West Brom 2, Ipswich 0.
Arsenal fans singing and dancing in the away end to our right hand side at the G-Tech Community Stadium. That is because their team got a late winner against Brentford, and Arsenal are top of the Premier League table tonight. 2 Premier League commentaries for you on 5 Live and BBC Sounds tomorrow. Tottenham Villa at 2, Everton Manchester United at 4:30, and after the news on 5 Live tonight, it'll be your turn to have your say with Chris Sutton and Robbie Savage on 6:06. That comes after the 5 Live news with Richard Foster.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.